GG! The Mouthful Podcast is brought to you by GoodGame.rock, the most welcoming gaming community on Facebook. Visit us at www.goodgame.rocks.
But you know, party.
Because the insurance, they get away with just paying the least amount possible, right? But the thing is,
Always.
the hospitals already know, and the doctors, well, for the most part, it's the hospitals, they already know that the insurance are gonna pay them something. So
Yeah,
they,
there's a set
they
rate.
don't.
Mhm.
They're not worried. They're not worried about, well, we're not gonna get our money from the patient. So what they do is that they inflate the prices of every little thing to like redonkulous amounts that you never get an itemized bill, or if you do, it's so convoluted that you're never going to understand it. But when you realize that they charge you $700 for 5 milliliters of some like bullshit, whatever, random medication name goes here, and it's $700 for it. You're like, wait, what? But this is only here. This is only in the U.S. All right, every other part of the world, that shit would have been
The
like
same medication
$2.
is $10. Yeah, I was gonna.
Yeah, 10. Yeah, exactly. Let's say $10 or something like that. It's probably for a marketing or something.
No, inhalers with the well, I was thinking about the what do you call those? The asthma inhalers. Now you go to Cuba and they're like $5. You know what I mean? And by the way, they're also covered by insurance, but they also could just cost $5. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Find out how much them shit cost here. They're ridiculously inflated. You know what I mean? It's just like, what the hell? And it's because that's just the nation we live in. It's a nation of fucking what do you call fucking capitalism?
Medication is a commodity. Your health is a commodity here. I just so my wife has recent surgery, and everything came out well. She's fine. There's nothing to worry about. We get the bill, right, and it breaks down that. Let's put it this way: if insurance wouldn't have covered that, we would have been responsible for literally over $250,000 to $300,000. The price of a smaller house nowadays, but still, that could have paid like both mortgages, with that. But no, that would have been the price for a procedure. So you can tell that they're just making shit up, when they come out to the numbers, because they can get away with it.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no regulation.
No, there is not.
No.
There is when it comes to Medicare and Medicaid, because Medicare, Medicaid going, yeah, we don't give a shit what you're billing. This is what we're paying. Oh, by the way, that's it. You ain't going after them. You know what I mean? It's like, it is what it is. So
that's true. That's true.
Oh, that's where the line is drawn.
They can go in, like they can freaking stay in the Holiday Inn if they want
absolutely. It's a jodieron
on the hospital, and they never have to pay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, it's all a scam, bro. It's all a scam, which is why, and I know because I used to work in the fucking medical field. It is.
That's true. You did
the worst
medical billing.
Absolutely hate it. And I don't want to. I don't want to go. I go. I honestly, I go because my wife makes me go. And to be fair, I really should go. All right, you gotta test yourself. You gotta make sure you're okay, right? You gotta do your
tune-ups. It's required. It's going to tune up with really fucking
model, right?
mechanics.
Exactly. A 1976 model needs to have its occasional, tune up and stuff like that. So,
yes.
So because of that, it's like, that's the reason I go. But dude, the moment it's almost as bad as going to the mechanic, bro. Seriously, you go to the mechanic, I just need an oil change. And can you please change this right here? Then they come back with a list of shit. They're like, I know, because the car is getting old. Not really what I asked, though, was it, bro?
No.
I just needed this and this. All right,
Yes.
we'll get on whatever, you know, and then there are certain things that honestly, there are certain things that go, yeah, we can't do if we don't do this. That's annoying. And it's like, then please give me back my
You
keys.
gotta
'cause
buy
I'm
the
leaving.
rust proofing.
Yeah. It's like, come
Yes.
the fuck off, people.
It's like it's like they're selling fucking console bundles, you
Oh
know.
my god, dude, it's just so annoying. And
And
yeah,
it's always this
working in
forced
that
shit.
field, your eyes are open to a lot of the
Oh, the scams.
it's almost all a scam.
Yeah.
It's only not a scam when it's like something like emergent. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's when it's not really a scam. It's like, well, it is emergent. You're just coming in. You know,
We
gotta
don't know
get-
how to rate for this. So.
yeah, exactly. We haven't, you know, whatever, and we go for there, you know. But dude, anything else is just like it's ridiculous. It's absolutely. And the sad part is how all these other nations, you know, many of which are considered third world
Third world.
countries, you know what I mean, are
And they have
just
free
handling this.
universal health
Yes,
care.
I'm like, fuck, are you kidding me, dude? I was like, okay, all right, whatever. It should be. It should be a thing. It's not something that you should even consider.
Yes.
You know,
You shouldn't
yeah.
worry about being able to
Right.
afford.
Yeah, exactly.
Being able to have decent medical attention and prevention, like when you want to take care of, you know, of yourself so that you don't get sick, you shouldn't have to worry about the surprise bills, you know, talking in the thousands of dollars without you knowing. Like it shouldn't be.
Tens to even more, hundreds sometimes. Yeah, absolutely. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then you go to these places, you go to those hospitals. It's like, this looks like a fucking hotel. Like hotels that are rated 5 stars do not look like this.
No.
You know, it's like, wow, this is like up there. And obviously, I mean, where do you think that is? Where do you think that's coming from? So, yeah.
I mean, the only thing they're missing, which is hilarious to think about, kind of ironic, the only thing the hospitals are missing to look like hotels is the hospitality, part of it.
Yeah, which they lack, mind you.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
So that's what we're doing now on this podcast. We tackle the social issues of today. We're going to start this at some point.
I believe so. Because Jesse, I need to get it up here on my screen.
Well, you can get it on the screen. Okay. All right. Well,
I need to remember the number. Okay, here we go. That's the number. Very good. Very good.
It'll be in the. I'll give you a hint. We're in the 300s.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much for
close enough.
Welcome back, guys. This is Arnaldo, aka Mad Dog, and that is David, aka Dream Twister, and this is the real episode 315 of Gigi's a Mouthful podcast.
What the hell was that? Gigi! See,
I don't know what that was, and that was a little scary.
It came out. I was gonna go for G, and it just came out completely wrong. I tried to go to roll with it, and then I was like, "Nope, eject, abort, stop this. Just don't continue because it is terrible."
With the GG, and instead you hit the high C, and
exactly.
Like, oh man,
I tried to do the G sharp, but instead it came high C.
Not to be confused with the fabulous high C drinks.
Yes, I can go for some high C right now.
I can too. I'm having a little diet Coke now because I'm trying to maintain.
I was just having that. But actually, I was having Starlight flavored Coca-Cola. Have you tried that?
Starlight.
Starlight. It's called. I think it's a temporary thing. I don't know why, but it tastes a little like vanilla-ish Coke, which
Starlight Coke. Yeah, there is.
I kind of don't hate it. I kind of like it, so I'm like, okay. I'm having the small can, so.
Yeah, I think I saw it and I avoided it because I was like, I don't know what that is. But to be fair, I don't do.
It's too weird for you. You're not gonna like it. I don't think you're gonna like it. You're a purist.
I am a purist, but to be
Yes.
fair, I haven't had regular Coke in forever. I've
I
been
don't think
doing,
anybody has.
yeah, yeah,
What
for
is
sure. Dude,
regular Coke
Weight
anymore?
Watchers, every ounce is a point. It's just
Every
like, damn,
ounce
is a
of
point of regular Coke is a point.
well, it makes sense because
It does.
that's just mega sugar. It's
Yeah,
what's
it
right.
is. All it is. It's all it
It's
is.
more sugar than sugar. It's more concentrated sugar than pure sugar. So
Dude, people
yeah,
degrease engines with that shit, and that's not even a lie.
wow.
That says it all. I was like, wow, okay, well,
You know
good to know.
what? That you're not wrong. You're not wrong because I remember back in the day when I used to drive my Mitsubishi Champ. Yeah, that's right. It's a Champ. That's a model of back in the days, and imported from Japan. And the batteries will get like that corrosion that they get around, and my dad would just say, "Oh, just bring me a 7-Up." I'm like, "7-Up? You're thirsty or something?" It's like, "No, just bring it to me. Here, this is how you fix this."
Is that how you can?
And he just dropped the 7-Up over it, and he just kills the corrosion
Yeah.
completely. It's like,
You think that? Yeah,
wow, this is
absolutely,
new.
absolutely, and it does. Coke does the same thing. Coke is,
Coke
I mean,
proud
it's so good.
that
Let me tell you.
battery.
Let me tell you. I am such a fan of Coke. I haven't had a regular one in a while, but such a fan of Coke. I'll take a Coke over a Pepsi any day. Screw Pepsi.
Yes, I didn't used to like I never had that. Well, first of all, I was never a soda drinker until kind of recent, actually. And even now, it's not like I always go for it. It's not like my first choice, but um, but I remember that at one point, this is ridiculous to even think about right now. But at one point, I was like, Coke, Pepsi, whatever, they taste the same. And you're like, just give me, whatever you have. It don't matter. And
Wow.
now you can really tell. Not to say that I hate Pepsi, but
Yeah, I don't hate
Coke
Pepsi. I
all the way,
mean,
yeah.
if that's what you have, that's what you have.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are definitely a difference. And there was a time that I was more into Pepsi than anything else, but I don't know what it is. I got back into Coke, and
It was purity, probably.
it
You
is.
don't know what you were
Yeah,
doing.
you want yeah, you never know. Honestly, it
Some
was peer
kid
pressure.
having
That's what it
Pepsi.
is. Peer pressure, man.
Peer
It's a real
pressure.
thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
A bunch of
Hey,
people
you
were
want
all on
another
Pepsi, and they're passing around the Pepsi,
Pepsi man.
bottles, and yeah.
Pass your Pepsi to the fella on the left.
Exactly. Before you know
Okay.
it, you're in there like everybody else, caught up in the
Yes.
whole in the whole
In
thing.
the old color wars.
Exactly. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. If this is your first time doing so, please first go if you haven't already.
Congratulations on listening.
Welcome, first off, to the craziest corner of the internet. But I need you to go to goodgame.rocks. Join the conversation there, of course. That takes you right to our Facebook group. And please like, subscribe, share the podcast.
You
with
just
everyone.
got here and you already send them away.
I mean, no, they can be here and do it. I mean, we have phones. What the hell?
Yeah, nobody likes to be
personal
told what to do.
Yeah.
That's why the first thing I say when the YouTubers goes like, and please like and subscribe, and I'm like, nope, now I want to unsubscribe on purpose. What do you think I'm not part of our channel.
Yeah, I was gonna say at some point you had dropped out of said channel. I was like, wow. Well, that says it all, doesn't it?
I'm sorry, it's force of habit. I was like, fuck this. You're not gonna subscribe to. Oh, wait a minute, this is a podcast I make. So,
I know. I need to be here.
I should support myself. Yes, I need to be
the numbers. Oh my god!
I need to be. I need to join the conversation.
What we normally do, guys. First, we go into, of course, what we have been up to. Move on into a few news items, and then, of course, we finish with our hot topic of the week. This week's hot topic. Favorite gaming memories.
Oh,
so special, so special. It's funny because we had some submissions and we have some questions off on the side, and it was steering in the wrong direction that I wanted to go to. It was steering into the memory within the game that you find the most memorable. And sure, I think we've done that already. This really is more your own personal memory, the type of thing that you recall, a time in your life, something that this game reminds you of this thing in your life, or you remember the days. A perfect example that I've brought up many a times is the Final Fantasy 7 that we ran for just days, playing that game, and it was just I will never forget that. It was one of the most epic RPG multiplayer thing that we did, even though it's not really multiplayer. We're just handing the controller around, and it's just those moments, and that game will forever be tied to that moment. You know what I mean? And we have many of those. And so that's really what it came out to. And it's actually a lot of good submissions on the group. So I will definitely be going into those comments there. Hopefully we get a few more by the time we get to it. So
yes.
But with that, I guess it's time, sir, to start with what we have been up to. Mr. Dream Twister.
That is me.
I am curious to know because I am oblivious. We don't see each other online anymore, and I'm actually a little depressed by that. But anyway, the real that is I don't know what you've been up to, so hit me. What you been doing?
And you've been AWOL for most of this week, so even less. Even less. It's probably me. It's always me. I know. What have I been to? Well, first off, I should start by saying that I broke the loop finally.
Oh, ya era tiempo, coño.
Yes, I finished Deathloop, and I believe it or not, this week I found myself at some point like missing it a little bit. It was like this game was a little more entertaining that I made it that I made it sound. I will still not necessarily recommend it. Like I don't think it's
I don't think it's a bad game.
I don't think it's a bad game. No,
I could definitely recommend if you like the type of thing that it has, but it's definitely not a 5 out of 5 or a 10 out of 10, whatever.
Yeah, the 10 out of 10s that were given, that was it's ridiculous. Like there is nothing in this game tries to go that far, because you can even think of, maybe the story, the delivery of the story, the concept, tell you one thing about the story is that this story could have been something interesting. It could have actually been a memorable one. But the problem is that the concept itself was kind of interesting, but the execution, the actual story delivery was botched so fucking badly that more often than not, you don't understand the reasons why you're doing a lot of things. And it's not because it's difficult to track. It's because it's not being delivered to you in a proper way. It's almost like I mean, it's going to sound weird to make the comparison with this because the first season of The Witcher was fantastic. Not to say that was still good in a way that it presented everything. Even though I did not agree with let's make this crazy jumps in time. Let's just shuffle the chapters and deliver them to you, and then you put them all together in your head. And a lot of people liked it because then they did season 2 and they steer away from doing that. Mm-hmm. But in Deathloop, I had a similar feeling where because of the way things were broken down, you never felt like what you were doing was linear enough to be enjoyable. And I don't mean like linear in the sense that I'm not advocating for the game to be linear, but if I make a discovery for some thread, for example, some interesting thread, and then I have to abandon it because the next part of the game requires me to jump into something else, and then later that afternoon, I'm required to jump into something else. And now I have like 3 or 4 threads that I am juggling, then when I go back and make the discovery of the first thread, it almost loses its momentum because it's so chopped up, because one of the things you have to be in the morning. You have to be there in the morning to discover. But at the same time, you're doing other things that will require you to be at later times of the day in a particular section, and everything is so chopped up that is very difficult to like even the discoveries that you make, they kind of lose impact because you kind of don't remember how you got there in the first place because you've been like juggling 3 or 4 tasks at the same time, And another thing that I'm disappointed at this game is that the game gives you the impression that you were the one in control of how you wanted to set things up for the eventual demise of all the visionaries, because the whole thing with the whole point of the game is that in order to break the loop, you have to kill all the visionaries. The visionaries are tied to the loop. You need to make sure you kill them in one day. Exactly. You only have that one day. So you and at the beginning of the game, you have no idea how, because they're all like doing their own independent things. So the way I played that game at the very beginning, and the reason why it was taking me forever to progress, was because I was overthinking things. I was thinking that I had some control over the things that I should be doing, the things that I should be setting up in order to start aligning them properly so that at one point I'll get the chance to do the perfect run, and I will have full control over that. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, damn, that sounds crazy and impossible, but if a game manages to get away with being able to do that, that's now I understand the 10s out of 10, because that's kind of like very emergent gameplay. There's no emergent gameplay in this at all. Zero. There is the total
the realization of it.
The total opposite. And the funny thing is that once you realize how the game wants you to play it, and you go through that period of disappointment because suddenly the game is a lot less than what you thought it was. Remember, I'm here thinking of this game is getting accolades. It must be doing something special. And no, it's the totally most mundane thing that you have to do. Is the thing that you have been doing in Ubisoft games forever, is literally go to checkbox go to checkpoint A, and when you're done there, go to checkpoint B, and then when you're done there, end the day.
C, D, and E. Yep.
Yeah. It's basically select from your poor interface, because the interface of this game is not super great. Select something that you want to not even that you want to do. Is if you want to progress, you kind of have to know this is what I need to do in order to progress the game. But it's not hard to figure out, because first of all, the interface itself presents it to you in a linear way. It's presented in a linear way. You just don't play it in that linear way. You play it as the loops go by. But it shows you like from A to Z what you have to do, and all you need to do is just make sure that you select that area, and go to where the checkpoint tells you to go.
Yeah.
And then when you're done there, just return back and, let the ring repeat. You don't have to do anything special. You're not setting up, you're not planning anything yourself. It's like shut your brain down, because the game is going to tell you exactly what you need.
Just
what
go
you need
where
to
it's
do.
Pointing to. Yeah.
And that was very disappointing to me, because again, it would have been incredible if you had some sort of like measure of control or way, or there was any decision making on it. But no, none of that. Everything is already laid out to you. All you got to do is just execute. And then you are literally killing just one type of enemy. There's literally one type of enemy in this entire game. There's no variation. There's no this game lost the opportunity to even have dogs in it. It's something that how sometimes sometimes when you're playing games and enemies are mostly humans and they try to make it, well, let's bring up let's bring up the dogs, let's release the hounds, something like that. Like, it wouldn't have been.
It's the same.
out.
It's the same enemies all over the place.
Yes,
same exact ones. Yeah.
It's just that everybody is with their masks, so that when you kill them in these gruesome ways that you murder them, at least at first, because later on I didn't care. I was just like gunning people down because I was OP as fuck. But at the beginning, when you are being trying to be stealthy and careful and just do your stealth kills, and your stealth kills look like crazy decapitations and stuff like that. They're all wearing masks, so as to dehumanize them as much as possible, and then the encounters with Juliana, at first they felt like heart stumping, like, oh shit, she's on the hunt. The game will tell you Juliana's on the hunt. You're like, oh shit, I gotta stop whatever I'm doing. I gotta try to find a way to camp somewhere because I don't want to get killed here. Later on in the game, when you're like decently armed, you don't even have to worry about that, unless that Juliana is actually a human control Juliana, which I never went online to test that out, so it might be on me also.
Yeah,
you did?
Yeah, I did, and yeah, it's a whole different feel, which makes sense. Obviously, the game is AI is going to do it in a specific way, but when you have a controlled by actual players, yeah, you'll notice the difference.
I think most of it was I was already burned out enough to where I just didn't want to have to deal with that. I just wanted to, because I didn't know if it was gonna be like an invasion, like in Dark Souls, where the person kills you and okay, you're dead and that's it, or if it was gonna turn into a multiplayer game where my goal was to not die, so I didn't have to restart the loop again. So it's like, I just didn't want to deal with that. After I had already spent 25 hours in the game, and I was still clueless of what I had to do. Remember, it wasn't until very recently that I was asking you, like, dude, how do I progress? Like, what is it that I need to do? And ended up being like, just don't worry. The game will unfold itself. And it literally does, because it will even set up the perfect loop for you. Like, all these loops that you're doing, like, it doesn't matter. Like, they don't matter, because the game will tell you, oh, the perfect loop is here. Now go ahead and do it.
Yeah, and it's it's display. I mean, there's a cutscene and everything. It's just displayed. Here you go. This is the route, and then you go, okay. Well, okay. I guess that's the only way to go. Then
dude,
let's do this. Yeah,
it's so disappointing.
I mean, you still have
again,
to,
the idea was good.
Execute. So I mean, there is that, but.
Oh yeah. And to be fair, I almost fucking died almost at the very end of it, trying to kill all the visionaries. But because I was playing a little cocky already, I was like, I'm fucking unstoppable at this point. Like, I don't have to worry about the iridium, whatever is the element that you get that you need to power, to unlock, I guess, your powers and your weapons, special abilities and stuff like that, like iridium. Mm-hmm. You didn't have to worry about that at all. It's like you get so much that it becomes inconsequential. At the beginning, yes. At the beginning, you're going to be scavenging for that. But just keep playing normal. Like, don't think that you have to do anything particularly special, because you really don't. Mm-hmm. And the game presents itself as if it was this rogue light game, but this is not even.
No,
this is not even
more
rogue
of a
light
time
at
loop,
all.
yeah.
This is not rogue. There's no rogue on
No,
this at all.
there isn't. So much of the stuff that you carry with you to after you die is like, yeah, this is definitely not rogue.
Yeah. So, but I wouldn't have continued playing it if I wasn't being entertained. And at the end of the day, I got my ending, which was, of course, as I expected, it was gonna be not. There's no payout. There's no payout. Obviously, I'm not gonna spoil anything of it.
Other than the fact that there's no payout.
Other than the fact that don't get excited about anything like super special or anything like that. It's just gonna be like, oh, okay, that's the way they went. That's fine, I guess. It's funny because after all this, you would expect me to be like very upset with the ending, and I was not. I was like, whatever. This wasn't anything special, but also I didn't find it like offensively bad. It's like it's not bullshit. It's just like, oh, okay. Decided to go, this way. That's fine, I guess. It's like there could have been a lot more with this. This game would have made perfect sense if the outlets would have given it the proper score that it deserves. Those one that scaled from 1 to 10, I would say, a 6 or a 7. If they liked it, if they liked it a lot, a 7. No way a fucking 10. Like, what are you talking about? What?
Okay.
Like, no, absolutely not. It's gonna get a 3.0 from me. I liked it. I didn't hate it. I should say I didn't love it. I didn't hate it, but I liked it more than I disliked it because I thought the music was fantastic. Like, I really enjoyed that theme. Yeah, that it doesn't have a lot of soundtrack, but the little soundtrack that I have, it's like it's cool for the era. It's like really nice. Even the songs from like Frank, I think is his name.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I Shazam a bunch of that crap because I was like, okay, I need to listen to this outside the game because this is cool. And for some reason, the whole theme of it of the game, it's like burrowed in my well, not burrow because it's not like it's burrowed very shallowly, very, very shallow in my mind where I go to bed and I hear that song, and I'll be humming and I'll be like constantly thinking. It's one of those like, it's eerily catchy is not the right word, but I'm gonna say it is. But it's almost more like it's mysterious. I don't know how to describe it. I really, really like it. And Colt as a character he was still phenomenal, and Juliana as well. They both had a very good chemistry. I really enjoyed that part of it. The parts that I didn't enjoy, it was the shooting aspect of it for a shooter game, or I guess it's not supposed to necessarily be one, but like it doesn't really do shooting very well. It doesn't do stealth very well either. So it's almost like, what are you? But I've seen worse. I was okay, with it. And the story, I didn't think it delivered at the end, but it kept me wanting to know more. Like I told you, the only reason I'm playing this game is because I want to know the end.
Yeah. You were entertained enough to make it to the end too, which it says a lot.
Right. Yeah. And then and overall, then like I said, in the middle of the week, I was like, oh, should I start again? Maybe. Then I realized
I did. I didn't start again. I just did the run, basically. The one that limits it. Like I did it, got to the ending, and then I said, I wonder if I could just redo. And I just obviously now that you know the path, I'm gonna just redo that path. It doesn't take long. And the second time it was like, wow, that was even more easier.
So, wait, you beat it twice?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I mean, it doesn't take. Remember, once you know the path, It's like really when you play it again, it's like, well, I don't need to do anything. I just need to take that path again. You know what I mean? And so
Is
I
it
just
new game? Is it new game plus? Oh, right, exactly. That's the whole thing with the game. It's just you already know the recipe. So.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I just need to redo that. And no, I mean, I don't know if there was new game plus. I just went back into the same game and started the day over and just followed the same path to eliminate everybody.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, maybe I can get myself into.
There really isn't much else. If there's a new game plus, I don't know what they're expecting. What else is there to do? Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like
I was saying like that. I don't think it's a new game. The game gives you a splash screen telling you like, "Oh, congratulations!" Da, 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 da. And I think he's mentioned something about going back into the loop or something like that. I don't remember. I did not feel like a. Actually, I take it back. I think you kept your powers or something like that. But then if you keep your powers, then you might as well be
going through. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really worth going through. You're invincible then.
Exactly.
It's like, no.
Definitely the replayability of this game is, to me, very, very low. Because once you have that path, that's it. That's all you need to do. And they're really, because I mean, you think of everything else you're doing just to open up that path. It's like, what, am I going to do all that again? I don't need to. I already know the path.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If it would have been something like, well, I just want to experience the ending because the ending of this was so, it was so fruitful, that you want to know, you want to see, what would have happened? Because the game does have, multiple endings, but there are multiple endings that are like short and unfulfilling. Again, it's not worth it. Yeah. Like if it would have been something else, if it was, that I wouldn't have minded. But once I saw what I got, I just directly went to YouTube. It's like, okay, let me see. And then not only that, but when you realize when you actually go to YouTube and you get the lore, because I got curious. I was like, okay, this was, I want to know more. I want to know the pieces that I missed. And then where I realized where everything was going, and it's like, I got more angry. I got more angry because the game did a shit job of explaining any of that. It was like the game was giving you bits and pieces, but not in a good way, like a fucking Dark Souls or anything like that. No, it was just it assumed that you will piece the things together like way too much, and like I'm not a genius or anything like that. But God damn it, you had an interesting story that you botched, destroyed, you messed it up. So yeah. It's funny. I did get more angry when I found out where everything was coming from and how it was. I was like, this would have been perfect. I would have been happy with that. This is actually an interesting story, but I didn't know that X and Y. It's like, why? Oh, fuck that. All right. Enough about that, Loop. I just really didn't have much to talk about because other games, because I've dabbled into something, and I think on Tuesday I opened Gran Turismo, and I was like, yeah, it's as much as I enjoy racing games, and Gran Turismo is not a bad racing game by any stretch of the imagination. Although, aside from the scams,
yeah.
But as a game by itself, like I started playing it as as a game, and then but I spend more time on the museum aspect of it, because let me give credit where credit is due. Gran Turismo really respects the car industry's history, and there's no other game that plays that element of homage to car to car history in such a way. Like other games will focus on the fun factor of grabbing these crazy machines and just going all out and and racing and whatever, and Forza Horizon and all the other ones, or say I don't know, Assetto Corsa or Forza or all the myriads of or the Need for Speed, even if you just want something casual. Um, there is not, there is not a simulation heavy racing. They all focus on just the gameplay, the fun aspect of it. That what arguably what matters, right? And Gran Turismo, it does that. Like they're not trying to be the fun OP. You are, you are the ultimate racer. Like it's not trying to do that. It's actually very good as a simulation game that it tries to be. It tries to be. I would say, yeah, it does. It does extremely well. But on top of that, it has this like wonderful reverence for the history of car making. I told you that you're not a Gran Turismo fan in any stretch, but Mad Dog, I still encourage you to YouTube the opening of this, the intro of this game. Just pull it on YouTube. You will think that you are about to go on a RPG journey of the lifetime. It's like this thing, it just wants to be the most inspirational, I have a dream kind of like delivery, like sets you up for, you're gonna have a wonderful, beautiful experience here. And it does. It achieves that.
Well, that's good. So, at least, yeah.
So I'm serious, bro. You gotta tell me what you think of that intro, because it's so fucking crazy. Anyway, what's I gonna do? Oh, so I ended up getting more entertained by just going through the museums of each car. Well, I didn't do all. I think I did maybe 2.5, because it was taking like way too long. I had already spent over an hour and a half just browsing the history of Nissan and Mitsubishi, and I don't remember what was, and Tesla, and it presents you, and it's all it's doing is presenting you this on a timeline with music. Sometimes it should, it gives you videos or interviews or little blurbs here and there. I think I showed you that it worries so much with setting up the timeline so proper that it even sets up the timeline of world events, random world events. And I showed it to you. Like it'll have like, oh, this is the inauguration of the Trump presidency, for example, or this is the COVID-19 happened here. This time. It's like all of these things to kind of setting them up so that when you actually go into like the car, or first of all, that is not presented to you like forward. That is just in the background, just so you know. Oh, we're talking about the 1935. Oh, let me see what else was happening around that time, and and so on. So it does a really good job of teaching you about that. The educational aspects of this are awesome. I think I've joked with you that he rivals Wikipedia. Obviously he doesn't, but what I'm trying to convey is that I didn't expect this much info, presented it in such a way. And I really love that. I really, really did. It makes me makes me more angry about hearing the other aspects of the monetization and the way they're trying to like fuck it up and all that. It's just like, no, guys, you're Sony. You do beautiful things. Your games are held to a higher standard, and there's no higher standard than what you have actually shown that you could bring here. Like, why shit all over it when you have this like beautiful thing?
I'm still a little torn as to, was that a Polyphony decision or a Sony decision?
I feel it's a Jim Bryan decision.
That would make it a not a Sony decision. That would make it a PlayStation decision, because he's just the head of PlayStation. But
right.
you're probably right. You're probably right. He's a businessman. I mean, it's true. He's a businessman through and through. Or I mean, it could have been a polyphony decision, and Jim Ryan was like, "Yeah, I'll allow it." You know, you know what I mean? Who knows?
Yeah,
right?
it's like, oh, that doesn't sound bad, all right?
Yeah, exactly. That sounds like it'll make us money. Let's do it.
Yeah.
You know?
It makes me worry for. Well, actually, I'm not gonna say God of War, Ragnarok. You better not fucking have anything with that, or Ragnarok will happen.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I still like going and doing my races in Gran Turismo here and there, and I played a little bit of it, but I felt the itch to play a shooter. Like I just wanted something mindless, and I started playing I started playing Doom Eternal's the DLC.
The DLC, nice.
Okay. Yeah, because I played Doom Eternal, but I never went into the DLC, and here I was like thinking, dude, I play Doom Eternal. I want to do the same thing that I did with it, which was just crank the difficulty one notch, just one fucking notch, because that game is brutal, and try my and try it that way, because I remember how fucking exhilarating that game is. That game, you constantly need to be moving. Mm-hmm. And every battle, it just felt like a rush of adrenaline, and it's so awesome. Well, I come to find out I'm too old for that shit. I can't take that anymore. Wow. First of all, the DLC, it just it gives you like the same description of the difficulties, but then at the bottom it says, "But more demons because it's DLC." Wow. That's what it says at the bottom. So you're like, that's a warning sign right there, brother. Don't fuck around with, let me step it up a little bit and see how I do, because I wasn't doing well at all. First of all, I was getting my ass handed to me in, what is it, Ultraviolence? I always forget the actual name of it.
Nightmare, I think it was it.
Nightmare. Yeah. I was getting my ass handed to me constantly. And not only that, but it was literally hurting. It was literally hurting my arm, like my fingers, my arm. Like I was feeling numb, like I was feeling, but not the numbness that you don't feel anything. No, it's just like you feel like you're about to have I don't know. It was hurting. Like my entire arm was hurting. So I guess numb is not the right, but it was, the entire arm was hurting. And I was like, no, I can't play this game. I can't. So I stopped, and then I went back to it. I was like, okay, let me start it again, but from just the normal, whatever they call the normal. I think they call it normal. Anyway, I started the DLC playing it like that. And of course, I was doing, a bit better, but it's still fucking balls to the walls crazy.
I was gonna say
it is. It is, because again, more demons because DLC. Like that the most hateful. Like this is one of the worst video game enemies of gaming that I can recall. Like I fucking hate when these things show up on screen.
The Marauders.
The Marauders.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. They are the worst.
They are, because it requires the equivalent of parrying, basically, but you're not parrying.
It requires something
the same
different
reflex.
Yeah. It requires an entire different strategy, and suddenly you need to, and you're kind of already in a flow when you have a bunch of fucking enemies aboard. Mm-hmm. And you're like, okay, I go here. I mean, I'm gonna saw this person so I get some ammo. I'm gonna do this here, get some armor, blah blah blah. Then the Marauder hits, and now you're like, fuck. Now I need
have to try to strategize how to kill him.
Yeah. He is now priority one, basically. It's like, I need him off this board. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because sometimes he will appear with a wolf, and hey, fuck that enemy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the worst.
I mean,
edition.
Props to making someone who is annoying, and because I don't think it was ever unfair. You know what I mean? Because there is a technique behind it, but Man, man, it's just like it's the anchor, right? It's like you have a flow, and this suddenly an anchor drops, and now you're stuck, and you're like, I need to handle this, and it's just, I don't know, it's just not the same. Yeah, I agree.
They went too far with it. I think that I mean, I understand you want to make difficult enemies and stuff like that, and that's fine, and I don't regret him being an enemy. I just don't want him to be showing a lot, because then I will get upset. And I want to play this game, but again, I was already hurting. I'm playing on PC and with keyboard and mouse. So
that says it all.
Yeah, right. Probably that.
That's how annoying it is that you're on keyboard and mouse, which in essence would make a first-person shooter a little, I don't want to say easier, but I mean, obviously you're going to have an advantage, right? And if it's still annoying or annoying as all get out with that, I can only imagine what it would be
with a gamepad. Oh my God, I know. And actually, surprisingly enough, from most of my friends that have actually, you've played this game, so you know, you've beaten it with gamepad just fine, because evidently it is well balanced for it. You know, it is well balanced for gamepad gameplay. But yeah, you will expect that I am laying back. I have my fingers, my arms completely separated, because one of them is in the keyboard, the other one's moving the mouse, and you think that'll be relaxed and like completely set up to play first person, this first person game. But it's just so hectic, so many movements, so crazy. You have to move, and because I started on that higher difficulty, like it hurt me already. Mm-hmm. And then when I tried the lower one, I was still crippled. I was like, no, I should just go play something simple right now, because I still want to shoot things. So I went back to Halo.
Oh God! Okay. How is Halo doing nowadays?
Well, actually, I should say I went back to Halo Reach.
Whoa! Okay.
Halo Reach. Okay. Yeah, because the Master Chief Collection. So they're all there. So I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and play Reach. That game. That I've always liked that the storytelling on that game, and that game overall was really good. And I mean, Halo Reach. I tell you what, I complained a lot when it first came out. That it was added to the Master Chief Collection, because the Master Chief Collection, when it was released, it didn't have Halo Reach. That got added later on. But when it got added later on, I complained about a lot of issues that it had, especially with the sound. Like the weapons felt like I was just shooting wet farts at enemies. It was like horrendous. Like they did such a poor job. And it's not that the original game was like that. No, it was they fucked up the port.
Yeah.
So and it was bad. It was bad, and also it was kind of, well, I don't have to talk about all the things that Halo Master Chief Collection had, that were problematic. They've addressed them all, to be fair. But then again, of course they would have. This game it's all by any standards of right now. But I went back to it, and I was very happy to hear that my weapons were like powerful, the meaty, powerful things that I was firing at, that I remember firing at when I played this game originally on 360. And I was quite entertained with it. And I think this is the one that takes. This is the one that I'm just gonna continue going, because God knows I don't know what the fuck else to play. Ever since finishing Elden Ring, I just don't want to play anything. And that's not fair. It's not that I don't want to play anything. It's that
nothing's gripping you. Nothing is
grabbing.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm surprised that I was able to finish the loop, to get out the loop.
That was just curiosity. That's what you saw.
Yes, exactly.
That's all it is.
Yeah. Exactly. Like I mean, I was looking at my whole library, like I considered everything. I considered Titanfall. I considered BioShock. I considered replaying Guardians of the Galaxy again. I played a little bit of Chorus again because of course I did. Remember Chorus, the one where you're the ship and the ship is sentient and it talks to you, and when she and whenever she talks, she has this annoying habit of whispering everything that she's thinking. Everything, literally. Like if she's thinking, she's gonna be thinking and whisper voices, and it's so fucking annoying. Just like you guys were annoyed just now. That's how bad it is. That's
how bad you're feeling right now. Is exactly how
the gameplay
feels like. Yeah,
and the game, there's a lot of shit to do in this game. It's like, oh man, I don't know. It's a fun game. Don't get me wrong. It's good, but some games don't have to be that long, you know. And just like,
I know it.
This is not the type of game that requires you, to be this long. So I don't know. Sometimes I tell you what, I decided to go into Halo, and I'm enjoying it. It's probably because I finished the first season. Oh, the only season that I've had of the Halo TV series.
Oh, okay. And
I like it, sir.
Okay, all right. There you go. That's good. It's a shame. It's a shame you feel ashamed of it, because at least that's how it sounds.
Totally. It totally. And I tell you why. This series, first of all, you guys probably know this, but those who don't know, the Halo series TV, it's showing on Paramount Plus, and it stars, and I've already talked about how they nailed the look and feel of what you will expect Master Chief and like the whole, not just Master Chief, the entirety of the Halo lore to be presented on TV for a TV series. It's like, guys, you nailed it. You got that straight down. It has some radical exceptions, like the characters, and at first they kind of annoy me, but in retrospect, I was like, well, I guess if you're gonna bring it to the live, to live, how do you call that?
Live action.
Live action, thank you. If you're gonna bring it to live action, of course, there has to be some compromises, because you want the real voice of Cortana is probably gonna be played by the actress that is that she is, and she's not gonna look like the Cortana of the games, but it's fine. Like now, I'm okay with fine. Same thing with the Master Chief, showing the Master Chief's face and realizing that, oh, okay, so it's just exactly what you didn't want it to be. Yeah. It's actually what it is. Like, again, the opposite would have been ridiculous. Like, what did you want? Do you want a series where the Master Chief is completely, like 100% of the time on his helmet? Because you know how well that worked for his personality on the games. Like come on. Like, this series is not trying to retell the story of the game. It's actually more, I realize that it's actually more like grabbing from a lot of the lore of the books overall, and obviously using that for inspiration into telling its own story, and you get a Master Chief that, well, what do you know? He is human. Oh, like you didn't know that? Probably not, because anybody outside of the Xbox crowd would have looked at this as like, dude, this character is a robot. He's RoboCop, basically. He's not even, because at least you could see the human part of Murphy. I was gonna call him Eddie Murphy. Imagine RoboCop played by Eddie Murphy would have been awesome. Anyway, but no, the game. Fuck, I'm gonna continue doing that. By the way, the series obviously needs to present you a human aspect to this, and I will say they deliver on it. You know, it deliver on making these characters more fleshed out, so that you can enjoy them outside the confines of their little appearances, portions on the games, because the games were always about this very militaristic life, right? And then your fight against the Covenant and against the enemies and the Flood and whatever. So that's all you're doing. Over here, you're getting about stories about their lives, in general, and even where Master Chief comes from. Like there's the history there, and like it doesn't like I've gotten used to the actor already. Like at this point, it's like of course it's gonna happen. Yeah. They're expecting you to get used to it at some point, and honestly, I did. Like I have no problem with it. The problem that I have overall with the season is that at the beginning or very deep into it, it still felt like he didn't know what kind of fucking story he wanted to talk, he wanted to give. Like there were at least three subplots, if not more. And at one point, the Master Chief one was the least interesting part. So it was already worried. That was like, oh shit! Like when the parts that get you annoyed, the part where they cut to the Master Chief, it's like, okay, this series is in serious trouble because I'm getting bored with the main character. This is not us getting bored whenever Bran will show up in Game of Thrones. It's like, oh, come on, fuck this shit. Like, fuck Bran, who cares? This is not that. This is your main protagonist, and you are not happy that he's on screen because he has the most boring parts. Because it was a lot of soul searching, I guess I would say, not to spoil anything, but it came up. It did. It was able to come together at the end where it became interesting. It didn't try to there was like I said, there was some stupid subplots, and I'm not gonna spoil or anything like that, but they were like, what are we doing here? Like, who cares about this? And they get resolved to where, thankfully, you don't have to worry about that anymore. And now you're actually into the thing that you care about, which is, the Master Chief with the and the fights and against the Covenants, and some of those moments are they look really cool. A person like you that are more like cinematography, they can appreciate more the cinematography and stuff like that, could find these flaws. But for a plebe like me that just like the shiny things on the screen, it's like, oh yeah, no, I enjoyed this moment. It's one
for a plebe like me.
Yeah, a plebe like me, like, who cares? It was like this I am the low denominator when it comes to it, enjoying like TV series and stuff like that, and this fulfilled it. It was like, yes. Me and my wife both enjoyed the thing quite a bit, and that's a lot to say because my wife, I mean, she's not a gamer, and she was watching this first because it looked like it was sci-fi. She wasn't gonna, she didn't know if it was gonna be good or bad or anything like that. I warned her, however. I told her, look, this is probably gonna be rough. This is not gonna be The Witcher, okay?
Brace yourself, honey.
Just brace yourself, just in case. And she kind of did at first, and then we were kind of making fun of the things that were happening by season 3. By episode 3, we were already wondering like, we want to continue here? Or, you know, it's like, no, let's continue, because it's not fair to drop it after 3. That's it. I mean, every series needs its time to its wind up, you know.
Yeah.
And this is another one. This one has a wind up. The problem is that it only has 8 episodes, and it's only after episode maybe 5 that I can say that it starts getting like interesting. Like you want to know what's happened next. Like on the previous ones, they're like, oh, okay, this just.
It's still laying the groundwork, though.
Huh?
It's still laying the groundwork, though.
It is. Yeah. To be fair, it is. It's just you can't, like, if I were like, if you have Paramount Plus, you know, and you don't pay for it, then I would say, and you don't have the plethora of series that you already have lined up, then I would have told you, like, hey, I'm interested in knowing what you think about it. You probably won't hate it, you know. But knowing how this schedule is and how many things you have in front, and you know, it doesn't matter. It's never gonna. It's not gonna speak to you. It's not gonna. Your interest is probably gonna be like mildly in the sense of like, oh, here's another game property. Let's see what they did. And you know, it is what it is. I can't blame you for that.
The expectations are already going to be low, just considering the, you know, the absolute, you know, just shit show that, you know, anything that's a video game made into. The only thing I've seen that's successful.
Witcher wasn't.
I was just gonna say the only thing I had seen successful was 2 of the Netflix things. One is The Witcher, which is really good, not great, but really good.
Oh no, it's really good.
And Castlevania, which is an anime, which is actually, you know, pretty good.
I need to watch Castlevania. I haven't, but I hear you. And you know what?
Those outside of those 2, I can't think of it. I am partial to this first Silent Hill film. Mostly because there's a lot of just like little cool things that they really stick to from the game. Right. But the film itself isn't the best. And the first Silent Hill, no, I just said Silent Hill. Fucking Resident Evil. The very first one, which again, good, not great. Definitely took a detour and then the stupid thing is that the entire series suddenly needed to bring all these other characters in. It's like, okay, you already started on a new road, stake on the route on a new road. But anyway, those are few, and as I mentioned, there's nothing that stands out as amazing yet. So I don't know. Well, so my expectation was already going to be low going into it anyway, which may work in its favor. So, you know. Yeah,
no, totally. You say The Witcher it's very good. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Halo is not very good, but it's good. It's not The Witcher level, but it's also not fucking. I can't think of the series that I've watched that was terrible because I will drop from them. It is quite entertaining, and the money is there. Definitely, you see the money on it, and I like that it's doing its thing. Like it's want to tell its story, like unbound from like the lore of the game. Like, you know, they're gonna touch into the things that the game like the major events, at least, you know. Like it'll be ridiculous not to. I mean, obviously there's gonna be the Halo, you know, obviously at some point I will have to imagine. Well, I probably shouldn't say this just in case, but there's gonna be some points that are you will sort of expect, but then again, it might be nice to play with those expectations and then you know, completely give you, you know, a completely different take, you know, on it that you did not expect. Like the series ended on obviously it's a sort of it completed what it wanted trying to do, but it also is cliffhangery in the sense of
setting up
you know,
the
what's
next
going to
one.
happen. But at the same time, it was pretty safe. You know, it's still a pretty safe landing. So yeah, I like it. I'm gonna, you know what? At this one, I didn't want to think of a score to give it, mainly because I didn't have my the chart. This one, I'm gonna say that I am enjoying enough to give it a 3.5.
Okay, so it's really good.
That's really good. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Good
I would
stuff.
say, which is weird because we just call, we just say Witcher was really good, but we don't mean the really good of our chart. We just meant it like in the general sense that you will say it. Witcher is what? Really great? 4.5 or 4.0?
Witcher?
Probably.
No, the series? No. If I had to say The Witcher, I would say anywhere between 3.5 to 4. Is where I would
3.5,
put it.
4?
Yeah.
That's
When
good.
I'm referring to is like episodes, right?
Right.
The not so good ones land around a 3.5. The other ones kind of go to a 4. Maybe there. I'm trying to remember any right now. Maybe there may be one that hits a 4.5. But overall, I would probably not go higher than a 4.0.
Damn.
Yeah.
A 4.0 for Witcher. Okay, that's probably fair. That's great, and that's fair because like they did a lot to maintain the look and the feel of what a Witcher would like, while at the same time delivering its own, you know, its own story. And I agree. A 4.0 for The Witcher, a 3.5 for Halo. That's the surprising part because in first impressions, I was like, this is a solid 2.5, if anything. First impressions that it gives when it tries to when it starts up, it's like, I don't know, but it picks, you know, but it picks up in, you know, not stellar. It's not. I'm not comparing it to The Expanse. You know?
No, yeah. That would be unfair.
Exactly, you know. But coming out of The Expanse into this, you sort of have expectations, especially in its writing, and you know, you can tell, oh, these are some good dialogue versus like, oh, these are some very made for TV dialogue. Like, holy shit. And some of them like, ooh, this is like probably video game dialogue, you know, and it goes downhill from there. Yeah. Like it still has that. Unfortunately, it still has that. But you know what? I liked it. So
Good stuff.
That's gonna be all for me. I don't remember seeing any movie or anything like that. So besides, I've talked for too long. It's your turn now.
Well, good stuff, sir. I have done several things, so I'm going to work my way back
off the entire week. So I would have suspected you to.
Not the entire week, sir. I've only literally had a day and a half, and it felt like a day and a half. So no. First off, I finished Lost in Random. And,
Lost in Random, yes, talk to me.
That joint from EA. It's one of their EA originals. It is. I think this is a really good game. This is easily a 3.5. My only complaint that I would have is that it's long. It probably took 16, 18 hours. I was like, this doesn't need to be this long.
They were talking about the games that they don't. For what they are, which are great experiences, but they don't really need to.
Correct. And I think what kept me going a lot was I was interested in the story. I was interested in what was going to happen to Odd and her sister Even and what was going on. And I did enjoy that. I did think the characters were really well written, hilarious at some points too. And again, this is a game that looks and feels like it was made by Tim Burton, you know, like a claymation type of thing or stop motion. And I really enjoyed it, but I would have probably scored it higher if it was a more tighter, you know, experience. Every time I got into a new town, now I got to explore the new town. I got to talk to people, got to do some side quests and all this stuff just so I can get to the next point. And the combat system was extremely fascinating. I still think it's one of the more interesting one. I did post a video of it if you guys are interested on our YouTube.
Ooh, I haven't watched it.
And it is definitely different. And I don't know. I just really enjoyed it for what it was. But again, the story just took too long to get there. It was I was like, okay, it didn't need to be this long. And that's what I'm trying to say. And in essence, it sort of overstayed its welcome, is what I'm trying to say. And I just realized I did not post a video. I guess it's still saved somewhere. So never mind that.
I was wondering.
Yeah. I was looking at it and I was like, what the hell is it? Oh, anyway, it's still saved in the PlayStation. So, but not to worry, it is coming. But it is definitely original. I think that's, I've been said it last week, maybe even the week before, and it's still continued this week, where it's like I am just looking for something new, something original, something I haven't played before or I haven't watched before, and that's kind of what I want to get into. And this one definitely,
you're on a mission.
Yeah. This one definitely
new worlds
filled in that gap, to the sense where I was like, okay, this, it's not a platformer. It's basically an action. I can't even say it's RPG really. It's just a 3D action game, mixed with a card battler, and it's just so original, and I really dug that. And the combat was satisfying. And so overall, 3.5. Story is also finishes in it. It does, obviously, the type of game it is. You're not really in for a I don't know, a bad ending. You know what I mean? This is definitely going to be, a fairy tale type of thing.
Happily ever after that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's Lost and Random. From there, I started playing a little title called Far Cry 6.
Okay. What in the world are you doing? Playing Far Cry 6.
I am asking myself that every day as I play, because I'm still playing it for some.
You're still playing. You're still. Oh, okay. Well, shit. You just reminded me that I own Far Cry 6, and I was looking for a shooter to play. I didn't even think of that.
So yeah,
that's sad.
Far Cry 6.
Also telling.
I am playing Danny, obviously, Guerrilla, as everyone loves to fucking say in this damn game.
Yes.
It's overset.
It was made by French people, so
I think they were fascinated by the term, and they just we got to use it in every fucking conversation.
Guerrilla. Corillo.
So, what do I like about it? First off, graphically, it looks very pretty. I'm playing this obviously on PlayStation 5. It is running very well. Has the occasional hiccup, but nothing game breaking. Obviously,
it should have been polished by now. I think
it is the gunplay is so much fun. It is, and obviously that's essentially what they're selling. It is so much fun. I love the way the guns sound. I love the way the DualSense, the haptic feedback of it. I love everything of that. It's so freaking awesome. I love every battle. I love when I'm just driving down the road and there's a shootout that's happening, and I'm hearing the gunshots and I'm going, wow, that sounds like gunshots for real from a distance. You know what I mean? It just sounds, I was like, man, these audio is like really, really good. I love that when I get into what happened?
No, I'm like hearing you like say all this like good things about it. I'm like, who are you?
Well, I'm only talking the gunplay here, mind you.
Right.
So I'm just
arguably the most important part of it, right?
Exactly. And so it's just, I don't know, bro. I really dig that aspect of it. When I get into it's a specific mission. You got to go over here. You got the airfield. You got to do this. You got to eliminate this, whatever. And it feels almost Hitman-like. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, here's the objectives. Here's what you need to do. And I go in very Hitman-like in the sense that I go in with the intent to stealth everything. Right? Yes. I have a bow and arrow. I have one of my rifles that has it used to have a bottle at the like one of those makeshift whatever. Now I actually have a silencer or suppressor, excuse me. And that's my weapon those are my two weapons of choice. When the shit hits the fan, I switch over to the other weapon and just like have it out. And then it just feels like this awesome running around, whatever. And it's like, this is really cool. I got the backpack with the missiles, which I like when it works. I don't like it when it doesn't work because for some reason it's supposed to target shit on its own because there's no way of aiming it. You know what I mean? But half the time, like I'm gonna hit these people over here, and it goes and everything flies out and it hits everything around them, dude. And I'm like, it's like
because there were some other enemies around. That's the problem.
Maybe, but I don't see them, and then it just explosions happening. I'm like. Anyway, that's beside the point. The point is that
listen, that was the whole point for you not to see them because if you saw them, they were probably too close already.
Sure. We'll go with that. Yeah. I am enjoying that aspect. By the way, I am about 10 hours in, roughly 10 to 12 hours in.
About the same time that I put on it.
Yeah,
I can't believe you're gonna beat this game.
I am Madrugada is the area that I'm in.
The area,
is, Anyway, that's what I like about it. What I don't like about it is that this is an open world game.
That's
extreme. Right. It's just like the next thing's over here, and you look at the map, you're like, fuck. How do I get over there without, how do I get there quick? Dude, whenever I have to go back to camp, I fast travel, period. I do not ever take, I get these new vehicles and it goes, if you take this back to the thing, it'll be always there for you. I'm like, no, I don't give that shit. Nope, we're fast traveling. That shit can stay right here as far as I say. I have a car. I will always use that one car.
It almost, you know what it reminds me of? Of a Ubisoft game.
Oh, yes. Honestly, you say that, but I look at this and I go, this is Ubisoft's answer. And it probably has always been this. So this is coming from someone, guys, who really has not played Far Cry. Only Far Cry game I've played was Blood Dragon, which did have an open area, but it was a controlled open area, much smaller. Right. And it had a linear narrative. The game itself only took me 15 hours to beat Blood Dragon. So, and I loved it. And it included all of the, the Far Cry gameplay, and so
it's Far Cry.
It's Far Cry. Yeah, exactly. It not really has changed. In my mind, I'm going, this is basically the same fucking everything.
You're probably realizing the same. It's
like, but this is, I think, Ubisoft's literal answer to GTA. They wanted a GTA. This is their GTA. The difference is first person, and the gunplay is miles ahead of GTA. Sorry, GTA, but it's true.
The sad part of hearing that is that that's not even what the new GTAs are. That hasn't been GTA since Grand Theft Auto 4. But you still got to compare.
I played Grand Theft Auto 5. And I'm just saying I'm not saying it's that. It's its own version. It's an open area sandbox. Right. And it's themed behind whatever the theme is. GTA 5 is LA in fucking the early 2000s or the early aughts. This is you're in a version of Cuba without calling it Cuba because we don't want to be political. And so here we go. And so there's the thing. And you have all these little things you could do. I can go cockfighting. I can go, fucking racing. I can do all these other little things in this open world. Though I'm supposed to be fighting a war, I can still do all those things. Well, the same shit with GTA. You have I can go fucking call up a friend and we can go fucking bowling. We can do all this other shit that has nothing to do with the main story. Or I could just jump over to Trevor and see what the fuck crazy shit he's doing. You know what I mean? And enjoy that for a hot minute. It's just like my issue with these type of games is that there's no focus. And for me, don't get me wrong.
For you, because you get unfocused by the shiny thing, because you can literally linear
skip it all.
this shit.
Yeah, oh yeah, you skip it all. I did the same thing. I'm like, I'm not going. I'm just gonna go to whatever. And then of course there's the map, and there's somebody who's in trouble, and I'm like, oh wait, am I gonna be the asshole that leaves him there? Or do I help him out? So I jump off the car. I shoot the person. I'm like, all right, you're free. Go become part of the banditos, because now I'm creating a group of banditos and whatever. It's like, it's completely, that to me is unfocused gaming, and I can do it up to a certain extent, but sometimes in these I want to stop and say I am actually enjoying myself with it, but I am 100% positive I will not see this through the end, because of 10 hours in, and I am maybe half of the map of Madrugada. And oh, by the way, there's 3 other maps. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I'm not seeing those through the end. I can say right now.
Game, this is legitimately long.
It's ridiculous.
You stick to it and you enjoy the progression. Because that's the thing, I enjoy the progression. If you don't enjoy the progression, then it's over. Because guess what?
Well, that's the thing. You get the progression is what? You get more money, you get more weapons, you get you get the weapons, you get all this other stuff.
You unlock your skills and it does have the way of making you.
What skills are we unlocking in Far Cry?
Check. I don't remember. They're there.
I just played it. I'm like, there's no skills. The skill is pulling a trigger. She's known that since the beginning. So
there's fuck. You're gonna make me look now, huh?
Exactly.
Unless, you know what? It's a Ubisoft game, so it's probably that, like, they're probably blurring in my head right now.
Skills in Far Cry 6.
You're looking for. You don't.
I'm gonna have to, because I've been here. Is there a skill tree? How to unlock skills? This is somebody asking in October of last year. Is there a skill tree? Answered as alluded earlier. You can.
Far Cry 6 is more RPG than ever.
Is it?
I mean, that's what.
Oh, I see. So the skills are these little things that you can, like the healing factor and stuff like that. But those are stuff that are attached to your Supremo. So you're just really unlocking stuff on your Supremo, and then if you have it on your back, then I guess you have the quote unquote skill, but it's not really a skill. It's a passive skill. You're not really doing.
Yeah, but you improve. Like the point is that you improve the whatever's you're getting. You know, you're getting better versions of it.
Okay,
and like it doesn't have. I'm not talking about loot, but
no, I was thinking about skill, like actual skill, like if you think about a new move or a new dodge or somewhere whatever. Right. There, I haven't run into any of that. Anyway. My point is to say, I do like the characters, although they are maybe a little bit more caricature in many ways. But I particularly one Philly, that dude is funny as all get. I want more of Philly in every fucking conversation, because he is hilarious. He's the one. When you first meet him, he tells you to put. Can you put your finger right here real quick? Hold on. And then then he realizes you're actually putting down like a bomb, and if you let it go, it'll blow up. And then he's interview you and all this stuff. But your conversation you have with him is just
yes.
He's so hilarious and well written, and I just love it. I love the fact when I get into a vehicle, I'm hearing Spanish music. I wish there was a way of making this in Spanish 100%. I would fucking do it in a hard fucking beat.
I think there is a way, actually. No
is
joke.
There?
Check the language. First of all, Ubisoft tends to be fairly good about the language, the different options. And I want to say that I was given the option even at the beginning, but I don't recall.
Well, I don't want subtitles. I just want audio.
I'm talking about. You know what? Now I'm gonna have to load it now. Fuck it.
Spanish is not there. Spanish is available for subtitles and interface, but not audio.
No,
there is
audio?
English, French, German, Latin America. I guess that.
Well, that's Spanish.
I guess so. Okay.
What, you don't want Spain Spanish?
Sorry, I was expecting. In that case, that is being changed when I get back in there. I can guarantee you that right now, because I was just like, this.
I need to hear this
a little bit more authentic and immersive. Yes, if it was just in Spanish, and it's not like I can't understand it, so it's like I'm fine with that. But I really enjoy it. Now, another thing I don't really care for is I don't know there are these major cutscenes that are supposed to be, I guess, important. I don't know how they connect to my character yet, I guess, but they don't seem to be as important, right? The intro was very strong. If you remember the intro, it's slight spoilers here for the intro, but basically, sort of a war happens in the city you're in, and now you're on the run. You're trying to get out anyway.
Yes.
And then you can't get out because you get cornered by Anton Castillo and his people, and then you are the lone survivor of that particular people who are trying to get out. Yeah. And now you have the person faces a choice whether to continue to leave or to stay and fight. Obviously, if you don't know, the fact that you're playing the game is because he or she decides to stay and fight, because depending on the Danny you choose. I
think I also picked her.
I picked it. Well, to me that was almost canonical, because every trailer I've seen has her. Yeah, exactly. So
yes.
I'm like, I picked her. I saw the dude. I was like, nope, sorry, bro, I can't go with you. But I love the I'm not a big fan of fuck is his name? The alligator. He was a little bit annoying to me. He would attack, and it was like, dude, what are you doing? I didn't tell you to go out there. You know what I mean? Come back here, man. I'm trying to stealth here. Yeah, Chicharron, on the other hand, I love that fucking dog. And I want that dog. Chicharron's the little dog.
That's the cute little dog.
Oh my God. I love that fucking dog, dude. I need that dog. I showed it to Mara. I said, honey, we need this dog. And when we get the
little
dog,
like gimpy dog, right? Like he's a dog on wheels, right?
Yeah, because his hind legs, I guess, got blown off in the war. I don't know, something happened to him. And his legs are still there, mind you guys. But obviously he can't move around, only his front legs. Yeah. But it is absolutely adorable, and I love him.
Chorizo is his name, actually. You call him Chicharron.
What did I say, Chicharron?
Maybe that's
Chicharron is there. Chicharron is the fucking the rooster. There is a Chicharron, but yeah. I gotta
shit! You're way past my thing, because I haven't met the rooster. I haven't met Chicharron. I didn't even know that Chorizo was a playable character. Like, holy shit!
Chorizo is the dog. He's not playable. You can wait. You can the alligator. You can tell him to go out, and he just
tell him, yeah.
He just in his case he plays more of a distract, because he's so adorable. Most people won't shoot at him. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he just kind of plays a distraction, and that's just distraction long enough so I can get an arrow in their head, basically. And that's
ironic that the person that kills dog in games is now so fond of one.
I mean, when it's that adorable, bro. I mean, you've won the heart. You've won the heart of stone. So but anyway, I see. I mean, I don't see, because I haven't played any of the other ones, but I guess I can understand if this is kind of the same thing every time, then I can see why this can get old fast. To me,
the same thing every time.
Yeah, to me, because this is, and it's just a bigger map, and it's just like, oh my God, no. I need something of substance. I need something of whatever. Half the time we're in a shootout, and I can't understand what they were saying. And when I actually look at what they're saying, I'm like, this is nothing. There's nothing of substance here. You know what I mean? And anyway, that's what I'm currently playing, for the record. And I am enjoying it, and I will continue. That the plan is to continue. I'm not abandoning. It's not like there's anything to play anyway. I'm just going through my backlog at this point, and that's part of my backlog. Yeah.
Might as well play. And besides, it's so fun to hear you talk about this game.
Really?
There's a level of enjoyment because it's you getting out of your comfort zone. It's like you literally said, I just want to play different. And in playing so different, you went full circle. You went and played exactly the same.
Well, I got this on sale probably at the end of last year, because it was like a Christmas sale.
You were interested. The whole time you were interested in this game.
I told you I was.
Wondering, like, what the fuck? Like,
I was like, of all of them, I was like, this one here there's something about, and you know what it is? It's the music. The music has me attached, especially when you are in mission. Like the
Yeah.
score is like when I have my headset on, I have it blasted. I'm like, it is like boom, 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 doom, doom, doom. You know, I'm like,
Yes.
it gives you into that feeling. And the NPC, the fucking enemies are a little stupid, but it's like, all right, well, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it for what it is. I'm not abandoning it at any point. I just looking at the map, I am positive that I am
Uh-huh.
not. If I get halfway, I'll be shocked. I will be shocked if I get halfway. But I can see that it's because it's a one-trick pony. It's a beautiful pony, and the trick is pretty awesome, but it's still just the one thing. And at some point, it's like, this
What else is
cannot
new?
entertain me past 30 hours at
No.
all, unless you have something serious, some sort of storyline or
Need a
something that happens at that
story.
point. Yeah, it's not going to do it, and I know it's not going to do it, and
No.
it is what it is. So
I don't expect it to. Obviously, I think you are literally already past the section where I dropped it, and I do intend to go back to it. Don't get me wrong. I always do for some reason. Something stupid
is there
about
crossplay? Do you know?
Ubisoft progressions that always grab me. What was that?
Is there crossplay? Do you know?
Is there crossplay?
Probably ask. I should just ask Google this one. The reason I ask because there's certain like I don't know.
I wonder.
Like specific missions that have nothing to do with the main campaign. But you can bring in a friend, and I'm like, fuck. I wonder if I can do that because I know you have it on PC.
I was,
yeah.
yeah.
Like, we could do it on if there's crossplay.
That would be dude. That would be awesome if there were crossplay in this game, because I mean this entire world for us to like just fuck around. It would be like Far Cry 4 had co-op. I remember that, and I want to say this one probably does.
It says here supports cross-generation play.
Oh, then yeah, that's not crossplay.
That's not crossplay.
Is it?
And of course, this is from Ubisoft website. Them trying to fucking invent new shit. Whatever. Anyway, I was just curious. if it works. If there was, it'd be cool to do it. But obviously, these fucks don't want to do that. So it is what it is. But from there, sir, I've watched a bunch of shit. So I do want to say I finished Bridgerton. I won't stay long on this other than to say that, yes, I enjoy it. And no, I don't care what anybody has to say about that. I love this show. I particularly like this season more than the first. I don't know, man. There was just something there.
My wife was into it also.
There you go. And she knows what it is. She agrees there's something there.
Yes.
Even though
she was wondering what the fuck were you doing watching this, but hey.
It's okay. It's okay. I like I'm a sucker for a good romance, bro. I'm not gonna fucking watch it. I'm not gonna sit there and read a romance damn novel. And again, the reality is, if this wasn't on my wife's list, I would never have stopped on it. You know, it's never going to make it to my list. You know what I mean? It's like, it is what it is. But it is on hers. She wanted to see the second season because she enjoyed the first one, and as did I, because I watched it with her. And I was like, okay, do it. And it's not bad. It's really I don't.
Good, you know what? This is me talking with zero judgment, because I've said many times, I've watched worse. All right, so no problem. And I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious about about it also. So yeah, no, don't.
I would tell you to watch the first one and go from there.
Completely girly shows. Then we are so secure of our masculinity. That doesn't deter us. You see, that's
yeah, not at all. I'm completely comfortable in my skin, and frankly, exactly. I liked what I was seeing.
And you are very you are very good with your. I'm proud that you are good with your sex positivity. This series.
Yes, exactly.
You're completely engaged in it. So
exactly. And there's a lot to be engaged with in this particular series. So just saying, just throwing that out there. Anyway, we did see another movie. We see a bunch of stuff. Anyway, the next movie we saw is also from my wife's list. It's actually a Netflix joint called Zero to Hero, and it is actually based on a true story of Hong Kong's first Paralympic athlete to win the gold. It starts off when he's a kid. I mean, literally a baby. Um, the something happened with the blood, or something happened with the kid. He ended up having developing fuck, what was it called? He had something, oh, something where he couldn't walk. He was not developing well, and the doctors were like, yeah, he's probably not going to live very long. He's never going to walk.
Mm.
And not only does he walk, he becomes the gold winner of the Paralympic racing,
Wow.
as a runner. And it's a really touching story, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's like, this is actually pretty cool. It's a little on the nose, in the sense
Mm.
that, how do I say this? It's a little on the nose in the sense that it's like, okay, I get it. You're proud to be whatever it
It-
is.
it-
It is brushing with broad strokes. I mean, we are going through the life of this person within 2 hours.
right.
So, obviously you kind of have to leap into to different parts, but it is based on a true story. He wins several of the uh, uh of the 2000, I want to say it was 1996, 2000, and 2004. And then, real life strikes, and he has to, get into stuff, so that you get into some sort of job so he can support his mom, who's 100% supporter or whatever.
Mm.
And then it becomes the challenge of getting back into the next Olympics, which will be his last, because then he'll be too old to come back.
So what yeah.
And it is just, it's really good stuff, dude. It is really well
Wow.
done. It is in Chinese. I don't know if it's Mandarin or Cantonese, but it is in Chinese. So there is that. I mean, if that's a stopping point for anybody, I understand,
Yeah.
but it is definitely worth getting past that,
Yeah.
essentially. So yeah, so that's Zero to Hero. It is a Netflix movie, so it's always going to be on Netflix. And
Okay.
last night, my wife and I went to the NZN Theater and we watched The Northman.
The Northman.
Which I have been really, really wanting to see. This is the newest film by Robert Eggers. Robert Eggers, I know you probably remember my name, but I know you remember the movie I used to talk about called The Witch.
Oh, the Vitch.
The Witch, yeah. That was his very first film. He's made two since. He made The Lighthouse is his last one, which I also watched and I also enjoyed. And so I was very into watching this one. This is a little bit different. Takes place almost like Viking type era. I really, first of all, visually, this dude is really, really good at just the beautiful visuals and just the wide shots. And it's just like, oh my God, this looks so good. But basically the tale is the main character. I'm trying to remember the main character's name, but the main character, because it's a foreign name to
Chorizo.
me, so it didn't stick as well. It wasn't like John. Like I remember John, but it was something else. Anyway, he starts off a young kid, and his father is killed. This is in the trailer for the record. His father is killed by his uncle, and he goes on the run, and he vows vengeance, right? And then it cuts to years later where he becomes full-grown man, played by Alexander Skarsgård, who is like massive. This dude is beast mode, bro. It's like, wow. Fucking Northmen are grown big and strong, bro. This dude is like serious. And then he obviously comes back. It does subvert expectations with what you would think the tale is. It's like, okay, well, he's coming back to take on the uncle, but the things when he comes back is not as you left them, and that's kind of cool, and what was going on. But again, visually really good. Some things I didn't really care for is I realized I started thinking back to The Witch and started thinking back to The Lighthouse is I've never seen him do action, and I can see why. So the action is not bad, but it's not great. It's one of those things like I expected to see more visceral action and maybe more fast pace, and I don't know. It doesn't look like he's the best at doing it, or he doesn't have people with, because sometimes you always have like an action coordinator or something like that. But it's not horrible, and it's definitely not bad. It's just it stuck out as that. Oh, okay. This is a little okay. This is not, but there are some extremely cool actual fights and actual things. It is mixed with a little of Norse mythology in there as well. Very little,
Okay.
very like, this reminds me of this. Oh, Valkyrie. Okay, this reminds me of this. It's like, okay, I got that.
Mhm.
So it's almost like you're looking at it real. One thing that Robert Eggers brings to the table each and every time in anything he's done so far is he wants authenticity. He wants it to look and feel like you are in Iceland watching these guys do this in the dark, in the middle of a forest, with the only light being that fire in front of them. You know what I mean? So everything is pitch black around them because, yes, that's how light works, guys. There's no light outside. You're only going to have the one thing. And so there's a lot of that. And there, dude, the freaking score has moments where it is doom, 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 doom. Oh, doom, doom. You hear the that's the score. Just like you hear these guys like almost like chanting and then, and I'm like, damn. And then we were in the theater, obviously. That really amplifies that.
Yeah.
But I can only imagine what it would feel like here with the sound system and everything. But it
Mhm.
is, I enjoyed it. I think it was really, really good. I'm give this one 3.5. Really good film. It is, how do I say this? It is long too, maybe a little too long. It's like 2 hours and 17 minutes. But
Oh.
what's happening in there is like there's easily a 2 hour, 1 hour 55-minute film that would have been a little bit tighter, and so, but I mean that's really just that's a nitpick. Again, the action scenes were something. Like I said, and also there were bloody but not really bloody. It's just like you're swinging stuff here and it's like, well, this is a rated R film, why not, why not have more of it, you know what I mean? Not that I
Why
need
not go
blood.
all the way? Might as well, don't.
Yeah, not that I need the blood, but it's just like you're going with authenticity. Well, if somebody gets hit with a fucking yeah if somebody gets hit with a fucking sword to the neck, you're gonna see a burst of some sort. You know what I mean? You should be getting there. And not that there isn't blood. There is blood, but it's just I don't know. It was I don't know. It wasn't 100% on there, but I still really enjoyed it. I'm glad I checked it out. I do want to check it out at home now here, so I can put on the sound system and have the subtitles, because it's the other thing I watch in theater, and they're speaking English. Until there's some scenes they end up switching to Slavic, but when they're speaking English, it's like some things can get lost a little bit. I'm just kind of piecing stuff together, but
Yeah.
visually ridiculous, really, really beautiful film, and I recommend this, regardless of what the fucking leftists are saying, about, there's no people of color. It's just like, whoa, we are in fucking Iceland in God knows how long back, guys. I don't think we were there as a person of color. I'm gonna say Spanish we're probably not there, so we don't need to have that, you know what I mean? And so that shit like that annoys the hell out of me, bro.
Authenticity.
Yeah, it shouldn't annoy. Don't get me wrong, I'm all right if you want to put it in there, but then you can't go authentic at that point.
No, exactly.
And if you're going for that, if that's the obvious motif you're going for, then it only makes sense.
Right.
But whatever. Don't listen to that bullshit. Go watch this film because it's really good. Anyway, last thing I have seen, we're still watching. Actually, we'll probably continue that tonight or soon. Is a series called Only Murders in the Building. Now, this is a series.
Where did this come from?
This is a Hulu series, for the record, and it stars Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez.
Steve Martin Short. I mean, Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. What the actual fuck?
So
is Gutenberg also here? Makes a cameo, maybe.
I mean, there are a few cameos. Yeah, there are a few cameos here now, and I won't spoil any of them. But this takes place in a
alternate reality.
No, in an apartment building in New York City, where three lovers of murder mysteries essentially stumble upon each other when something happens in the building that ends up being what they think is a murder. And so they love true crime. They're like true crime nuts, essentially, what they are. And something happens, and the funny thing is, this is one of these like really expensive buildings in New York City, which, I mean, I'm talking like easily $5,000 a month type of place. You know what I mean?
Oh.
This is the type of apartments that people with
it's not
money.
La Chuma.
No,
It's not the riff raff.
Exactly. So Martin Short is actually is he a screenplay writer? So something, he does a lot of Broadway shows, something like that in the thing. Steve Martin is an old actor, used to work on something. Selena Gomez is a little bit of a question mark as to how she's there because she's so young, and she's by herself. But I won't spoil that. But I will say that this show is a lot of fun, and I have come to realize what kind of comedy I like. I like this classic fucking comedy, that the silly BS comedy where it's just like it's looking for the most craziest moments. Like, no, that just doesn't turn my head. This well written, well acted type of comedy where it's you know, and you know what, say what you want, I was like concerned. I was like, well, I know Steve Martin is good, I know Martin Short's good. I had never known Selena Gomez outside of her singing. I didn't know she acted or anything like that. She holds her own very well with these guys, and to the point I was like, wow, this is, you know, I never expected them. And hello, Steve Martin is
she was a Disney a child star. So
she was, okay, I didn't know that. Well, there you go. So she really does hold her own here. But anyway, the whole point of the story of what the series is so far is them as true crime fans. They start their own podcast, by the way, and they call it only Murders in the Building. But in the essence, to sort of figure out the mystery behind what they think is a murder. And at some it's classified, and this is in the trailer, it's classified as a suicide at first, but they don't believe that. They start looking into it, and it's just the little antics that they go into, and you learn a little bit about their history and stuff like that because they have stuff going on. But I really enjoy it. But we find it hilarious. We're my wife and I are watching. This is my choice as far as a TV show, because I've had it on. I saw when it first came out. It first came out in 2021. I think season 2 is actually right around the corner.
Oh shit! So this is renewable.
Yeah. So I am enjoying it. It is really good. Like I said, you know, on all fronts, acting, humor, writing. It can be a little silly, but you know, and there's some question marks. Sometimes you go, I wonder how would you do that in this particular scenario? But you know, most of the time it answers those questions shortly thereafter. And some other times it's like, well, it's probably leaving that for further down the road. But love the mystery part of it. Love the way they're doing it, and I just, yeah, man, it's good stuff.
Interesting. I would not have expected those names to be put together.
Nor, I mean, well, maybe the first two, but not the last one. Yeah. Martin Short is probably it's the most hilarious character in this entire thing, because he lives in his own world. I didn't even know that
he was actually he's still making movies.
Well, I don't know if he's making movies, but he's definitely on this.
or acting.
Yeah. Steve Martin, God bless him, he just doesn't age, man. He looks the same. I'm like, damn, bro, you just
and that alone makes it like it calls the attention. Like, maybe I should sit down and watch this.
I watched the trailer, I think, to kind of give you an idea of what it is, and then go from there. You know what I mean? If you like what you see in the trailer, because that's what caught my eye. Like, you know, I tend to browse, and I always go whenever I'm browsing, I go to a new service, I go, what's new? I go wherever the selection is to what's recently released. And I saw this, and the names caught my eye. I was like, oh, Steve Martin. I didn't say Martin Short. And oh, okay. Selena Gomez. What the you know, I was like, okay, now I need to see what this is about.
What the
yeah. And for the record, I'm not trying to in any way insult Selena Gomez. I just don't know her. Like, I only know her from her singing. And to put her next to these two, I mean, you know, these guys have been doing acting for decades.
Right.
You know, at this point, and to put them next to it just I didn't understand, you know. And then when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, okay, I like what this is. And then I just kind of added it to the list, and said, okay, you know. And then in a recent shuffle, it moved up the list. So that's how it.
Interesting.
And I'm glad it did because it is funny. It is definitely funny. But yeah, that's Only Murders in the Building. No score on that one because I'm still watching it. Northman, I said it was 3.5, right? I think I said that. Yeah. Bridgerton, I'm gonna give that one. I'm gonna have to give that one 4. That's a 4.
that was solid.
That was solid, yeah. And then of course Zero to Hero. I don't know if I gave that one a score, but I would also give that one probably 3.5. I really liked it. I don't think I would ever watch it again because it is a biopic, and it is what it is. But definitely good. Northman on the other end, also a 3.5. I will be watching that again. So
yeah,
a changing score may be coming, but we'll see. Anyway, that's all that I have been watching,
and that has been a lot.
I tell you. Well, we are back, guys, and it is now time for our trailer of the week. Nice. That was so not harmonized, but I like it anyway. Our trailer of the week, guys. Well, we have 2 technically, and both are. I feel one. Yeah, one worse than the next. No, I feel. The reason we'll start with the first one, and that is because we have to talk about it. It is a Marvel joint, and everyone's talking about it. And the meme has become the meme again because it's like, oh, hey. And that, of course, is She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, coming to Disney Plus as a series. Mr. Dream Twister.
Nope.
What's your temperature check on that?
Nope. I don't want to offend anybody. I just wanna say nope. So the meme being that there hasn't been a She-Hulk, a good She-Hulk property, anything, and aside from the original, this looks like Green Barbie, and I am so not on board. It is ridiculous. It is. I feel I'm not a woman, but this feels like an insult to them almost. But then you told me, hey, if anything, it could be the opposite. This looks like more of a women empowerment movement and all that. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. But this looks like the totally male's perspective of that, of what that movement is. A, and B, I don't like. I saw the trailer and there was absolutely nothing so far. Not even bringing Bruce Banner here, who he ceased being an interesting character, for a while. I don't think the Hulk is alive here anymore. So now, they're trying to do this She-Hulk, and it just a premise that obviously I haven't seen any of the episode, but I can't think of a premise that makes fucking sense. Well, evidently this project was a horrendous thing that it was an accident that happened. Why would you want to put someone through it? For what purpose? I don't know, man. This is
so. I feel there's a small, and maybe not small. There's maybe several folks who have that same thing. This is not far from what the comic She-Hulk was. Now, it was never called She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, but she was an attorney, and yes, she was an attorney as She-Hulk many a times in the actual comic. So this is not this is literally a lot of it's being lifted from the pages. So it's not, and she also is known. I think she was at, there's a storyline where she got in trouble for essentially partying too much and all this stuff. So it's literally being lifted from source material. Now, is it source material that you would want to see? I mean, that's all subjective at that point, right? I mean, who knows if this is what you're interested in. I personally am curious. I do think that the CG of her is really needing some work.
Yes,
it is
fabulously bad.
It is really not good. Yeah. There are some moments or some particular scenes that look okay. But okay is like the highest bar that I can give it. Okay. Bruce Banner Hulk looks better, and he is not the fucking star of the show. You know what I mean? No. So it's like, for whatever reason, they spent lots of money to make sure he looks the right way, but they still have to adjust her. Now, to be fair, these type of things always kind of early, and those they can easily be adjusted as they're going out there. Curiosity,
I hope so, because she looks like a caricature.
She looks really,
the full frame Roger Rabbit.
Yes. There was a scene I was just like, whoa, that looked just not good. You know, and I was like, that just looked.
Even I was able to spot that.
Yeah, the CG here for her is just, and it's I don't know. It's like, if you're going to do this, you cannot. You have to spare any expense.
Why?
Because you're trying to sell it
for it, though.
You can't. Well, not that you can't have. There isn't a woman who could do it, but she is supposed to be Amazonian, 7 foot tall. You know, right. If you go anything short of that, and you try to do the old 80s Hulk type of thing, you think this is embarrassingly bad. I can imagine the panning that would happen if they did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, She-Hulk still needs to do the stuff that Hulk does. You know what I mean? And you can't do that as live action. It's just the way it is, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But if you're gonna do this, you have to spend the money, and you need to work on it until it's worked. Because if it comes out looking like this, dude, it's dead. As far as because it's dead before it even starts. Now, to be fair, I think the last thing I watched was Loki. I haven't watched anything after that, as far as when it comes to the Disney Plus Marvel stuff. So this is very low on the totem pole, obviously, because even if I wanted to go back, there are other things that came out before this. And so who knows? I out of sheer curiosity, if I happen to make it through Hawkeye, fucking Moon Knight, you know what I mean? If I happen to make it through those, then maybe I'll see that shit. Yeah,
that shit's out.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I haven't seen none of them, and no, they're not on the priority list. I already said my priority list is all. I want something good, like the trailer I just showed you for Only Murders in the Building. Shit that's good, original. You know, that's the shit that's going to catch my eye, and that's where I'm going to go to. But anyway, my point to say about this trailer is, it's sad that they did this, you know, without having her CG all the way up. The source material is a source material. If it's not interesting to you, you're never going to be interested in the comic book either, because that's kind of where it was, kind of the world that was in anyway. So it is what it is. But I am a little bit disturbed by some of we're starting to see a lot of the remember when fucking Resident Evil 8 happened, and Lady Dimitrescu, whatever the fuck it is, yeah, we're starting to see memes like that for She-Hulk. I was just like, oh Jesus, can we please stop?
No,
yeah.
No, do not want.
yes, we're starting to see that.
I will unsubscribe from the internet.
Well, sir, you may want to keep your finger on that button, because I'm just saying. So overall, curiosity. It's a nope from Dreamy. It's a curiosity maybe from me. Fix the CG, regardless if I watch it or not. Fucking fix the CG, please. At least for those who want to see it, you know what I mean? You know, they deserve good CG. You can't have fucking Hulk Bruce Banner looking better than the titular character of your series. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, the next film was 3,000 Years of Longing, which for you was a
it's the most you title that I have ever heard.
I'm not even sure how to answer that, sir. I'm not sure at all.
That's what, by the title alone, I was able to figure out what type of movie, even though the micro trailer to the trailer, because that's a new thing that they do now. They show you a trailer for the fucking trailer. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, it starts with like they put like music that it doesn't look like it's like, it throws you off a little bit. I'm like, oh, okay, so maybe this is something else and it's not meant to be like fucking nope. This is exactly what I thought, but actually exponentially worse. It's a romance movie for geriatrics.
Wait, really? You got that from the trailer?
I'm fucking kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I did not get that at all. Okay.
That part was a joke. No, that part is a joke. I'm still super not interested on this.
Fair enough. I mean, shit, I wouldn't be either if I got that from it.
Look bad.
Yeah, I am. This is another curiosity one. But this one's much higher on the list because of, again, it's doing something a bit different and a bit whatever. I'm like, okay. And it is also done by George Miller. For those who don't know who George Miller is, he is the director of the Road Warrior, Mad Max back in the days, and of course the most recent one, Mad Max Fury Road. And so by that alone has me going, George Miller, where are you going with this? You know, it's like
hey, George Miller, are you drunk?
Go home, George. You're drunk.
Yeah.
No, but because of that, I don't know what. First of all, I did not think it was any romance at all.
I didn't mean. There's nothing that shows. And by God and all heavens, there better not be.
So,
because the rate of destruction that I will bring upon mankind, crimes against humanity, I will do. No. And that was obviously be very facetious. I don't think it's that at all.
I got you. No. But this is a story from the trailer. Obviously, a woman, Tilda Swinton, she discovers what looks to be just a nice little thing she picks up from wherever her travels to Istanbul or whatever, and it turns out to be a genie, or what appears to be a genie. No one says genie, but let's be real here. It appears to be a genie, and then of course the wishes that come out from it. There's a lot of weird imagery that kind of happens really, really fast, and obviously it's just kind of giving you a little bit here and there, and I like it because I don't know what's happening, which is good because I don't want to be told the movie in the trailer. I'd rather go see the movie or watch it at home, whatever the case may be. But this one here I am interested in. I don't know. This is I don't know if it's a review. Wait, but we'll see. Well, we're curious. I want to hear some like
you just can't help yourself. It's like you see
I told you.
It has a title and it has the weirdness, and you just can't help yourself. Oh, and the right director. It needs to have the title, the weirdness, and the right director. And
I'm sold. And I'm in like Flynn, bro. I'm in like Flynn. And yes,
is this A23 or anything like that?
I don't know.
That's the reviewer's tilt at that point.
That's the missing item. Yeah. Is this? Let me see, because I'm curious myself. Let's see. Production. No.
It's got to have one of those things in order for
No. We saw it. It's MGM.
That's right, MGM.
Yes,
but well, it's probably their art house, Cat or some shit like that.
They have an art house one, which you would see it. Like for instance, 21st Century Fox
it has Searchlight.
Searchlight, thank you. Yeah. Everybody has their division, but this one was just MGM. This was just straight up MGM. So yeah, we would recognize it if we saw it. But anyway, it does star again Tilda Swinton and of course Idris Elba as the genie. But yes,
No Will Smith, huh?
no.
Thank
God for that. Anyway, those are our trailers of the week. I do have two really quick things I wanted to touch base on and get your opinion on, sir. Sure. Don't know if you know this, but stockholders have approved all combination proposals ahead of a $12.7 billion acquisition between Take-Two and Zynga, which will merge apparently on Monday.
Take-Two? No, I didn't know that. But wait, wasn't Zynga? I thought Zynga was owned by EA, or maybe it's the other one. The other one that was big.
Evidently not, sir. In January, Rockstar parent company Take-Two revealed plans to purchase Zynga for $12.7 billion. This is in January. It will be the biggest completed acquisition in the history of the games industry. $12.7 billion.
Wait, $12.7 billion? How? $12.7 billion? That's
nowhere near the other one. But
yeah, how old is this piece of news?
May 20th, sir. That's what's right there.
I don't know. This reporter, it was, or maybe, you know what? Maybe he's saying that by that time.
Okay, here we go. It will be the biggest completed acquisition in the history of games industry, although it's set to be dwarfed by Microsoft. So it's Microsoft.
There you go.
What the hell? This is written very.
I know it's the biggest acquisition, except that it's really not.
It's not really. Yeah. So Monday apparently is when it's set to take place. Take-Two's blockbuster console and PC franchises like Grand Theft Auto, Borderlands, NBA 2K, and BioShock will be brought under the same roof as Zynga's hugely popular social gaming brands such as Farmville. Is that still a thing? Fuck. And Words with Friends. Is that also still a thing?
Dude,
Jesus Christ.
It's mobile. They never die and they don't have to create anything new. That's why the mobile market, it's very profitable.
There's your next acquisition, merger / whatever. Thoughts, sir? Are we going to see some of this Farmville shit make it to console, please?
No. I wouldn't be surprised. But no, this is not interesting because this is a company. There's a big merger between two companies that who gives a shit. It's Take-Two. I'd like Take-Two. The games that some of the games that they publish, but I don't see Take-Two as it's weird to say because they are a gaming publisher, but for some reason, I can't reconcile them that way. To me, they're much of a gaming company as Tencent is, To me, Tencent is more like a conglomerate of they're just acquiring stuff. It's almost like what would you call that?
Honestly, I feel like
investment group almost.
Yeah, well, I would argue that Take-Two is a little bit more like they have a new game coming, The Quarry. That's from them.
Yeah.
And so they're a little bit more, and their names.
Fucking Grand Theft Auto. Rockstar. All that kind of stuff. So, there obviously are, but I'm saying them acquiring Zynga. What does that mean? What does that bring? Where's the benefit to us? I honestly don't see any. There's, Zynga has mobile games, so that's a market that we don't care about.
Unless that mobile game front suddenly becomes part of the console game front, which is what I definitely do not want.
But I feel like that would have happened a long time ago, and also, I don't think anybody will be excited about Farmville on console.
That would have That would have happened a long time ago. I think the problem is the name Zynga stands for that particular thing, right? For mobile games and stuff like that. But when it comes to present, and I'm pretty sure Take-Two. If Take-Two again, this is a big what if. I'm not saying this is happening, but the reason I bring it up because it's a concern because we already know that a lot of these publishers are trying to bring that free to play type of thing, to try to get as many people
Right.
into the console market, which is a little bit difficult to do, but it still can be done.
Yeah.
And it is being done. We still have like Genshin Impact and these things that are making, obviously making money on console right now, you know what I mean? And they're free to
Yeah.
play. And that rings true to these folks, you know what I mean? And so here you go, Take Two, acquiring Zynga, say, okay, we don't have to bring everything, but what can we bring? What can we do to bring over? And then suddenly the market that I personally feel the console markets, all three, I should say, are very selective what comes. And I don't need that. I don't want that space to be taken up by that. And this, I'm not saying it's happening, but when I see that, I just go, is this a precursor to that happening? And I just, it's me personally, I don't want it. I don't want any of that free to play shit on my. I will rather pay for a good game. Fuck all that, free to play. And then you have all these different systems and all that. The games become everything we see on the fucking on phones right now, and I don't want that.
Well, first of all, let me address that directly. Free to play game has definitely have that stigma because the vast majority of them are that. But they have, there are titles out there that have proven already that there is space for this type of games that are very well designed and done, complete experiences that just so happen to have the extra, the extra stuff that you can pay for if you want, because the game itself is free. Lost Ark is ridiculously phenomenal. And what I mean by that is like that game, like it defies a lot of the a lot of the games that are of that similar genre, but that are that you buy normally, that are not free to play. And they could very well have charged for that, and on top of that put the free to play elements, like a lot of companies, Ubisoft, are doing, but they didn't. Amazon decided to put this as a free to play, or not Amazon. Amazon just polishes it here, but when it came out in Taiwan, they decided to. The Genshin Impact is another one where you don't have to spend money. But that one, I mean, these are titles that they give you enough to where it's not that you have to spend money, is that you'll be okay, doing so. And maybe from time to time, because why not? Like, I don't have anything against free to play. I have everything against pay to win. Fuck that shit. That's the shit that should die.
I have an issue with free to play because of the doors it opens with other, like you mentioned. I already forgot the name of the game, but the one you just mentioned, Lost Ark.
Lost Ark, yeah.
You mentioned Lost Ark. You mentioned Genshin Impact. These are the anomalies because they're making an extremely good game and making it play free to play. The problem is they are the exception, not the rule. The rule generally is, with a lot of these publishers, is we're gonna give you the most bare bones stuff, and you want more, you gotta pay. And the problem is those games are the catalyst to lead to the next thing, which is all the publishers coming with that. So I do have a problem with free to play. I would pay $70 for Lost Ark easily. I would pay $70 for Genshin Impact. Leave all that free to play bullshit out there. Just give me a regular progression, and I'll get in.
The only problem is
that's the preferred method for me.
Well, yeah, no, I hear you. I don't want all my games to be free to play. I'm not saying that. They have their their position. The problem that I see, or the benefit, let's be from a positive standpoint, the benefit that I see on the good free-to-play games, the good ones, is that they continue being supported because, of course, he pays to be supported because that's how they make the money. Whereas I'll argue that the $70 title, once he loses its beginning luster and people are done playing it, like no one's gonna buy unless it's a fucking Nintendo game. No one's gonna pay full price for it again, or for the most part you tend to buy them on a sale, and then or wait until they're free on PSN, and that's and sometimes because they didn't make the money that they could have, that they expected to make up front, they stopped supporting it, and that's my main issue. But I'm not advocating for all the games should be free to play, because I don't want that either. You're right. For the most part, these are exceptions, and a lot of the free to play titles are just mediocre treadmills that are designed just to dangle the carrot on the stick in front of you, so that you keep paying them, and that's bullshit. I don't want that. I don't think, however, that was going to be my next point that I was going to read, is I don't think this acquisition is necessarily to bring any to put together the expertise of Zynga's how they market it, how they do the free to play and all that, necessarily implement them into Take-Two games. I mean, there might be some of that, but I think this is more a case of Take-Two just wanting to take advantage of a market they don't make money off, because they fucking don't make money off of mobile. And now they have Zynga. They actually, Zynga can make them money, and they have money to put on Zynga to bolster their output. So I'm thinking it's more of a case of diversifying their portfolio, so to speak.
Okay, well, good stuff. We'll see what the future brings for them. The last little bit, sir, is actor Norman Reedus has seemingly confirmed Death Stranding 2 is in development.
And he's no longer in it now.
Yeah, he has officially been excommunicado.
He's going to be replaced by David Hayter.
You know what? We were right with that.
I know, me too. I'm kind of getting. I mean, no Marinas. I have nothing against the guy, but it's
I
like,
don't have anything against
enough's enough. It's like, okay.
That does bring the question, though. Is this something you want?
Yes.
It is.
Why is it a question?
Because
Death Stranding 2? Are you kidding?
No.
Death Stranding.
No. Do you realize it's never going to hit the way the first one did, right?
And somehow Metal Gear Solid 2 did, instead of Metal Gear Solid 3 even more, and Metal Gear Solid 4, like out of the this is Hideo. If anybody can do it, Hideo can. I'm on board only because it's Hideo.
Backing up to Metal Gear, yes. You know the difference was that was a tactical espionage shooter. What is this again? I'm sorry. This is a
tactical delivery.
This is a UPS delivery system in the future. And by the way, last time I checked, we didn't need that anymore because things were cleared. So we're obviously going back into the well again.
Well, there's an idea. There's a how the game was. Mm-hmm. Somehow you and I seem to have had a blast with it.
Oh no, yeah, it was a perfect storm. And spoilers for next week's topic, but it was the perfect storm. It was a Hideo Kojima joint. It was because it was Hideo Kojima. It was we're already expecting something out there, and regardless of what preview shit we saw, we still didn't know what the fuck was going on. It was like, it didn't matter. It wasn't until we got our hands on it. And then when you get your hands on it, you realize what it still didn't make sense early on. And then it did. And it magically did. And it was just like,
or we accepted it.
Maybe. But that game is not short. So I feel like at some point we accepted it and realized it's genius all at the same time. Regardless of the ridiculous characters and Black Mask Man and Heartman and whatever the hell what the names are. Fragile because she's fragile, but not fragile.
Not fragile.
Yeah. There's certain things that are lightning in a bottle, dude. An espionage game. Yeah, of course you can make that shit. You can. It's still an espionage game. You know what I'm saying? Lightning in a bottle, bro. You don't replicate.
I know what you're saying. I know where you're coming from, but you don't know that, sir. This is Hideo. Who is to say that he wouldn't turn it into you're still delivering package maybe, but this time it's more tactical. I
would argue that Metal Gear Solid 2 was not better. I was like, I enjoyed it for what it was, but it was definitely not better because you were playing fucking Raiden. I was like, that's not what I came here to fucking play.
Which was brilliant. And
to those who felt that was a good thing.
The game.
But to those like myself who felt that was not a good thing, I was like, well, I get it. That's cool.
That's perfectly fine. I thought that he had the cojones of subverting the expectation, something that will never fucking happen now in this play it safe environment of let's make the same game that everybody wants, and let's not like fuck around with the formula too much. Like that shit will not pass today. So I'm glad that it happened.
Exactly my point. If they're making this today and there is a certain company backing this today, what are we getting? Are we getting the Hideo Kojima, hey, I'm going to do whatever I want with it?
Yes, because Hideo Kojima is not owned by anybody yet.
Well, sure, but who's funding it? That's what I'm trying to say.
His company make money. Whoever, or the publisher. Look, I think that Death Stranding 2 is not going to be just Death Stranding 1. And that thought excites me.
I hope that it wouldn't be. But I have reservations.
I don't think that it will. I don't think. If anything, there's gonna be. I mean, obviously, I'm sure that it will have its thing, or who knows? Because again, it's the mind of this genius, and there is
how much. So this still puts into perspective that okay, so Death Stranding 2 is what Kojima Productions is working on. Instead of something new and original, just like he made Death Stranding 1. Instead, we are back in that same well. Sure, he will. Let's hope that he can take a new angle on it. But instead, why not let we were concerned that this was Kojima Unleashed when we first saw Death Stranding. It's like, wow, this dude is unhinged, and we don't know what it is, And look what we got. We got something we didn't even know that we wanted. You know what I mean? And it was excellent. Why stay there? Why not, hey, let's unleash him again. What else you got in the world? You got to have a million things.
Crazy. That's fair.
That's what's missing. And that's my concern when companies, Kojima Productions and some other folks, when they start going back to the well, to this other stuff, it's like, yeah, but have you run out of creativity that you just don't want to create something new, or is it someone forcing your hand?
Maybe his vision is unfulfilled. Maybe he didn't think that it was fulfilled on the original Death Stranding, and like he's trying to bring it together, or maybe hopefully something more cohesive than the first one, because dear Lord,
it's amazing how much we praise the game and yet still come back and insult it a little bit.
which only speaks to the crazy greatness that is it. It's like the game that we love, that we hate to love, or that we love to hate, or we can't make our fucking minds, because somehow what should have been the most garbage ended up being like a
Garbage.
fucking amazing game. Fucking crazy. As crazy as it was still an experience. It was still an amazing experience. I have this game, and I bought it again on PC, and I've played it again, on it, because it's one of those games that you just want to keep for some reason. Because again, it's not the story. The director's cut. I want to see what's in the director's cut, but I'm not expecting much. But it doesn't matter. It just gives me an excuse to just play it again.
That much. I mean, like I said, I'm not completely. If he's gonna be able to take those liberties to go anywhere he wants with it. As long as it doesn't whatever. But I still feel sometimes a creator such as him, he got locked into Metal Gear, and yes, he did great with it. But I even think he would be like, yeah, I really wish I tried something else or went to something else. And then when you finally get him unhinged, look what he gives us. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, what else do you got, bro? I want more of whatever craziness you're smoking, because I want some of that. You know what I mean?
I want the same different flavor of the same drink. It's like, oh, okay, no,
different flavor of the same drink. Me cago en
What else? Yeah. What else? Yeah. No, I hear you, and honestly, I think the exciting part is like that what we were discussing a couple of podcasts back, which is if it's a sequel, if you hear about a sequel to a game that you really, really like and you really, really enjoy, it's like it's playing it safe all over again. It's just getting you excited for something that already has the market. They don't have to start from day one. Yeah. And you're right. A Hideo Kojima new IP, new thing, would have been potentially a lot more exciting, because it goes back. It will throw us back into the mystery of like, holy shit, what the hell is it gonna be then?
Yeah, I know.
What is this?
So much more exciting, bro. So much. More exciting.
Yeah. I don't take that. I don't take that. I don't want Death Stranding 2 instead of having a new thing. The new thing would have been better. Hands down. I'm on that camp too. Hearing that Death Stranding 2 it's announced is just comfort.
It's still not. Yeah, still it's comfort food.
It's just cool. I like Death Stranding too, but you're right. It's probably be like, well, this could have been time spent on something, on something new.
And these are years. That's the whole thing. If these we're not talking about a movie which can, you wrap up shooting in 12 weeks and then go into post for another 5 weeks. And, no, we're talking years.
No,
years off the market to do this when those same years, well, what could have been, right? You know what I mean? So,
what could have been? Indeed.
What could have been? So, all right, guys. Well, that's the end of the news bits that I had here that I wanted to throw over to my cohort. Time to go into the hot topic of the week.
Hot
topic, guys. Again, is our favorite gaming memories. And once again, I feel like I understand that apparently there was some miscommunication as to what this meant. But it's all good. It's all good. Honestly,
that happens when you communicate it very shittily. No. No. I had a conversation. Actually, with Chaos of all people. I had a conversation with him about it, because as I was I was very excited to see what the topic was gonna be, and I just started putting a list of my favorite gaming moments, and then I realized like, this feels like I have talked about this before. It feels like we have done this, and then that's what sparked the conversation that ended up in like realizing like, oh, this is about not gaming memories, but about not memories of gaming, but gaming memories, or vice versa.
Yeah. No. You nailed it. That last one. Yeah.
And that brought me to a little problem, which is I personally, like, my gaming is pure escapism. Uh it's my private time. I rarely fucking share it with anybody. I very rarely play multiplayer games at all. Like, especially if it's a game that is story heavy, is I need to be engrossed on it privately. I said it before. You're my bro when we barely play together. So that speaks to the level of how intimate my gaming time tends to be. So I don't have a lot of communal memories that I could draw off from, but I have a few. And I guess we'll sort those out.
Yeah. I wanted to take it back to kind of give sort of a baseline thing, and I know I've mentioned this in probably a few of the other casts, so I won't delve too deep in it. But one of my favorite, I will never forget. It's one of the reasons why Final Fantasy VII sits as probably one of my favorite games of all time. Actually, not probably. Definitely one of my favorite games of all time. Easily.
We still don't know what is your favorite game of all time.
That's
another conversation.
Yeah, that's a conversation for the future. But no, it definitely is one, and it is on the original PlayStation. I was staying with my son's mother at the time, and her nephew. Well, I mean, he was probably 18, 20 or something like that. His uncle, which would have been my his uncle, and then myself, we were basically playing Final Fantasy VII in shifts. I would work until, because I always used to work late. I'd work, come home. It would be late at night. I'd get on. They gave me the controller. They kind of fill me in as to where things are going, and off, and then I'm playing for a little bit, and they'd stay with me to kind of fill in blanks, and then they'd go to sleep, and I play a little bit more, and then I'm like, all right, I'm tired. And then the uncle, who was unemployed at the point, he would take over for like the deep night stuff, and here you go, and whatever. And then the kid would go, what's his name, would go to his to school or whatever, and come back, whatever. And it was just this round the clock shit that probably went on for about 2 weeks. This is not even an exaggeration. The PlayStation console remained on the entire time. And
you guys heard of save memory cards?
Oh, we had a memory card. It's not that there was a memory card, but it wasn't that. It was just the story never stopped. We just kept going. And it's just like, well, we're in shifts at this point. And weekend would roll around, and the weekends were a blur because we were all in it at that point, and because none of us were working, we just like, all right, man, take over. Yeah, we just keep playing, because remember, it is a single player game, mind you. Yes. But it was all about watching.
So weird that you guys decided to just like this game needs to be beaten, and no human has attempted to beat it by itself. So we're gonna take shifts grinding at it. Because damn it, fucking ultimate weapon needs to go to hell.
It is definitely, and I say this as one of those folks where this was one of my first JRPGs, turn-based JRPG. Yes, I played some other little things here, action type RPGs, but this was my first JRPG, and theirs, for the record. So it was one of those things where we didn't know the genre, but we knew the excitement behind it, because I remember everything was blowing up, right? I remember Final Fantasy VII was coming out, and oh shit, it was going to be coming to Nintendo. Now it's coming to the PlayStation console. Shit, what are we going to do? What is that about? And then they started releasing images, and you're going, fuck, this is going to be massive. But we had no history. I had never played any of the Final Fantasies before that. And so, but we just knew it was almost like the Elden Ring thing, where it was like not now, because I'm being Elden Ring. I knew what Elden Ring was and everything that led up to it, and played most of them. So, but a lot of those people who are new to Square, fucking FromSoft games, this is their first foray into it. That was me back in Final Fantasy VII. So it's almost like history repeating itself with a different game, and it's like I didn't know anything about that, and never dabbled in it, never, and when I did, it really wasn't that interesting to me. I remember playing Mystic Quest. I think it was the one that I played. I was like, this is no, this is no good. I was not a fan of that. And but this one did it, bro. It did it, and it did it hard, bro. I'm telling you, 2 weeks. 2 weeks easily. I know there were 2 weekends. That's why I say it's 2 weeks. It could have been a week and a half for all I know, but I know it was just this continuous thing. And I was like, I will never forget that, bro. That has to be one of my favorite gaming memories because it was like this communal experience of Final Fantasy VII. You know, and so yeah, man, that's how.
What a weird way to experience the first Final Fantasy.
It is very odd. I will admit.
I would know it. But,
what a weird way.
What a weird. Well, because I can imagine. Because that means that a couple of you missed Eric's death and had to be told about it.
I was there for
and
it.
That would suck to be you.
Yeah, I was there for it. No, I think if I remember correctly, I think we were all within vicinity of that. There was 2 of us there for sure. And we didn't see it happening. Well, like we didn't know. Like it was like, what? And then whoever had the control, and I can't tell you now because this is a long time ago. So I can't tell you now if I was the one playing. But the immediate thought was, what did we do? Where did we fuck up? You know what I mean? It was like, Jesus. And so, it was definitely different way of doing it, but it was, I don't know. It worked and we all enjoyed it. And the funny thing is we all played it separately by ourselves after that. You know what I mean? In our own different consoles, and just started from the beginning. And it's just like, fuck it. That's after we experienced the entire thing together. Yeah, that's something. It's definitely something.
That is something. Sir, I got a date for you. Uh-oh. This date will not mean anything to you, but it is one of the best dates in gaming history, according to me.
Okay.
And 2 million other people. November 9, 2004. It's a little title that got released in what had to be the biggest video game release that I've experienced so far, and certainly the biggest one to that date. Obviously, it's been surpassed already, but when I say the biggest, I mean in the sense of not only sheer numbers of units sold, but the excitement. And that was early, still in the gaming era, where people will camp for midnight releases and stuff like that. And I certainly was one of them, along with my ex-wife. And that game was Halo 2.
Oh.
Halo 2 was released on November 9, 2004. I was so excited because there was something in the air. It's not like I was the biggest Halo fan. I just knew that Halo was a good game, but for some reason, I know what reason. Microsoft was very fucking good at the marketing of that game. Remember, that's the game that did the I Love Bees and all that bullshit. So by that, the excitement levels were up to the limit, and this was gonna be, the next thing after Halo. And Halo was a great game for that time. So it's like, holy shit. So, my wife at the time and I wanted to make 100% certain that we secured a copy. We didn't even trust the pre-order system. So, or I don't believe we even pre-ordered, or we must have, because it would have been foolish not to. Anyway, thing is, I was supposed to come a electronics boutique. Or it might have been a GameStop. One of the two. It doesn't matter. I want to say GameStop. Electronic Boutique was probably dead by that time. But it was, that was GameStop. She was a Blockbuster. And I never forget, I never forget the not the crazy line that was at this mall. at midnight. So obviously everything else is closed except for the big ass, very organized, surprisingly organized line of people that going all the way from the GameStop, coming outside the mall and going around, almost, and everybody's like, talking and sharing their experiences and talking games in general. And I have never seen so many gamers together be that level of excited, because I've seen E3 by that point, but I've never seen a gathering of, all of these people are my people. All of these people are, just like me. They like the same things that I do. I'm not just fucking stranded at a beach with strangers. I don't know. It's like, it's just people. No, everybody here. It's there's a likelihood 90%, unless they were picking the game for their significant other or their children or whatever. Everybody was a gamer, and it just felt fantastic. That realization was great. And then that line moved fast, and everybody that was coming out, they were showing their collector's edition, and they were like super excited, and people would be clapping and being super. Everybody, it was all an excitement that we haven't had in releases, and I guess we don't anymore, because now nobody does midnight releases anymore because they don't have to. Shit is digital now. Mm-hmm. So we lost that. But that moment was very, very special, and I'll never forget that when I grabbed my copy and I went out, and then my wife was waiting for me in the car. She's, I showed her, honey, I got my copy, and she's like, me too. And here I got you this shirt also, because apparently she knew they were doing trivia, and that one of the questions of the trivia was, what's Master Chief's real name? And she just yelled, John! She was one of the few people that knew, and she won me a T-shirt also, a Halo 2 T-shirt that I have for a really long fucking time, actually. And it was hilarious, just both of us with copies of the same game. And like, we didn't care, like it didn't matter, because we had,
because it was special.
The special game that was coming. Yeah. That was the best midnight release ever for me.
It's funny. I never went to a midnight release for something. Because I was always practical in that sense. I was like, because I'm waiting, because I got burnt by a lot of fucking games. Let's be real. So because of that, I was like, I'm not fucking buying it. And I did pre-order some stuff, obviously, but it was, by that point, it was, the whole midnight release was already over that point. They were still holding on to them, but it was like, it didn't matter. It was already, it was just not as big a thing.
You pre-order for more guaranteed than in the early days, where pre-order could have meant like, you're pre-ordering, but we don't know how many we're getting.
Yeah, so exactly.
You better be here at 8 or 7.
Exactly, and
midnight.
Yeah, that would be horrible. But that's a good one. That's a good one. I'm going to take it back to the NES days, sir. NES days. Ninja Gaiden was definitely one of my favorite games, even though we had a love-hate relationship, because fuck, that game was hard. But what was amazing about it was how my mom, I know she probably wasn't fucking into it. You know what I mean? When I really think back about it now, my mom was not fucking into that shit. You know what I mean? But the little cutscenes in between caught her eye. And so she watched it, and she's like, oh wow, that's the intro and everything, and then she watched the next one, and so that's interesting. And but of course now I'm going into a new level, and the levels were hard, so you kind of die and try it again, and she was like, oh, she would come back, and I realized that she was interested, so I would call her whenever I beat a level for the first time. It's like, Mom, "Ma, got the level, whatever," and she would come running from her room. She'd come on just to catch the cutscene for the next scene, because how the enemy was blowing up real quick. It would be exploding for a little bit before whatever, and she'd come running from the room, and I'll never forget that, dude. Now, Ninja Gaiden to me has always been that, and I'll never forget beating it and watching the end cutscene as you see the castle in the background. This is Ninja Gaiden, the first one on NES. The castle in the background blowing up. Spoilers here for a fucking old ass game. Castle blowing up the background, and the whole cutscene, and then the kiss, because there's always a fucking kiss between him and Ryu Hayabusa and the chick. And so it was good stuff, man. I'll never forget that. I that is one of my earliest gaming memories, and it really was tied to the fact that again, she may not have been interested in the actual game itself, but the cutscenes were enough. That was an early tell that there's something here. You can have something cinematic here. You know what I mean? And it may not catch you as a gamer to play the gameplay, but can actually catch some eyes. And so that's a really, really old one. I never forget that. Ninja Gaiden, and that's why I did own it on my Wii, but I already sold my Wii, so somebody else owns it now. So
fucking digital rights.
I know, it's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, but yeah.
One of my earliest or earlier memories, I was certainly a dumb teenager around this time, maybe a tween, but me and my cousin, I remember my cousin Carlos, you have actually met him, we used to clean the tables at a restaurant that my aunt owned. Not his mother, but another aunt. She owned a restaurant in Puerto Rico, and we will offer to clean tables for like a quarter, per table or something like that, just so that we'll have a few quarters so I can pedal our way. It was kind of far, to the liquor store that was closest to the beach, in Guanica, to play our favorite arcade game. The most it had there are a few games in there. I remember they have Ghosts and Goblins, and they have the Mario, and they have a pinball machine, the Black Knight 2000, which is my favorite pinball machine of all time. But they have my favorite arcade game that I could not get enough playing, and I love this game to this day. And this game is Super Contra Arcade.
Oh, nice. Ooh, okay, that is different. Yeah,
Super Contra Arcade was mesmerizing because the music was so good on that game, and the graphics, and the getting the spread shot on that the spreader on that game, you almost felt invincible, even though you really truly fucking weren't, because it's an arcade game and it's gonna be unfair as all get up. So we will die maybe on the second stage, and then we will pedal all the way back to the restaurant so that we can, clean more tables, get, at least $1.50 so we can pedal back and just continue the routine until we were completely exhausted by it and forget it. I was going to say Street Fighter 2, but I feel like by the time Street Fighter 2 was almost like an amplification at that point of that era when we were doing we were playing Super Contra. But I have Super Contra actually on the collection, on the Contra collection that I grabbed for $5.
Recently. Mm-hmm.
That recently came out, exactly. And going back to play that game, it just brings so much memories, like so many great moments of me and my cousin just playing that. Him as Bill, me as Lance, and I even remember, which is funny because they took the voices out of the like the intro, the splash that plays before you insert a quarter just to kind of attract you.
Yeah.
It'll have the guys talking, but on the these versions that came out recently, like they took that out. But I remember the dialogue of Bill going like, "What is this place?" And then last saying, "Keep your eyes peeled." And then they charge their weapons. And then the next thing you see is like a fucking alien looking monster, like coming like just like Alien from the H.R. Geiger nightmares.
Oh wow, okay.
And because that's what basically what the enemies in Super Contra were based on. It was just supposed to be this alien invasion. And it says the search for the fight for freedom continues. It's so good.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway,
nice.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, I wanted to real quick get onto a few or a couple. There's only a couple here that I see that some of the members of the group put in, and we'll start, of course, with our very own Chaos, where the Reaper, where he says that one summer I spent playing Guitar Hero 2 that I borrowed from a friend. Played so much I actually cleared all the songs on Expert. And I learned so much from that game.
It was a real guitar.
Yeah. Songs that I listen to now every day at work. I listened for the first time in Guitar Hero.
Me too. There's quite a few of them. Actually,
so many of them.
On Guitar Hero.
I would agree. That is Guitar Hero 3 was the one that really hit home for me.
Really, it was 2 for me.
Believe it or not, Guitar Hero 3. My wife, my son, and we all played. We only had 2 guitars, but even my wife actually completed the entire thing, not on Expert. She just did it on whatever the normal was, but she completed it all.
Normal.
She enjoyed it. Yeah, I guess normal. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there was names for it, but maybe not. But yeah, she played that, and I remember I took a picture of them. I don't know if I have that picture, but I have Nick when he was still obviously younger and smaller, and her playing the guitar in front of the Guitar Hero in the apartment back in Lakeland, and I was just like, "This is awesome! This is so awesome to see my wife and our son just sitting here playing Guitar freaking Hero." It was just too cool for school. It was too cool. So yeah,
that's.
Did you ever have the Guitar Hero, sir? I feel like you did. Okay.
I had Guitar Hero 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, okay.
And that was a very big thing back then. Another one of those Santos household games.
Oh, regular. Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah. Now I didn't clear anything on Expert.
Me either.
I don't get it. I don't play like a maniac. But
I try to. Shout out to Jose Maldonado from the group. He came over once and he shredded that shit, bro, on fucking Expert. I was like, damn. I was like, okay, respect, bro. And he did, and I think he played. What did he played like the top song, one of the more difficult songs. And I was like, okay, so yeah, you
or something like that.
Yeah, it was something serious. I was like, damn, bro. Well done.
That is something serious.
Respect. Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead. You had. I forget that we were talking about the people in the group. Yeah.
Shafir. This is the second one. Shafir has mentioned. He said, when me and my friends play Mario Party games, we have a rule: first place and second place keep playing while the others pass the controller. That's awesome. It was so much fun. I remember one of my friends is Dominican, and he was always wait, and he was always Dominican Power this and Dominican Power that. My friends call me crazy scientist. The house we all played, the owner, I call him boss. Man, I miss those days. I played a little Mario Party back in the day, mostly with Nick, my son, and he loved those games. And
Yes.
we honestly we would play them for a while. So they're not bad games at all. For the record, it's just not
No.
normally something I would
Mhm.
I would go to. And the mini games is where it's at. You know what I mean? That's where the metal meets the road, and or the rubber meets the road. Oh, whatever the fucking saying is. But yeah, I remember playing that. That was good stuff. That was
That's
good stuff. Yeah.
Yes, Mario Party.
Yeah, for sure. What you got, sir? You had another one.
Yes, I remember, because who could forget? Well, actually, I forgot the date, but this was Puerto Rico. A long time ago, we had a Hurricane Hugo.
Hugo, yes, I recall that one.
Did a lot of damage. Not as much as Maria and like a bunch of others I've before, but here's Hurricane Hugo. Hurricane Hugo was my first experience of a hurricane, right? Except that for the most part, I didn't care because I wasn't paying attention. Because for some reason, my house was still had electricity, and I was playing Phantasy Star on the Sega Master System.
Wow.
And I remember that, I mean, the wind was loud, and my mom was worried that that we would be scared. Especially my sister was kind of scared. To me, the world outside was not happening. Like I was enthralled. Like while it was super rainy and windy, and it looked like the light was gonna go out at any moment, and by some miracle it didn't, for at least for the longest time. I don't remember if it ever did, to be honest with you, but I mean it must have. Actually, yeah, at some point it did, because I remember having to do the fucking cleanup, and if the light was on, and nobody would make me do a fucking cleanup because I was playing Phantasy Star Phantasy Star Online, Fantasy Star, the first one, and I remember it was around the time where I discovered that you could that whole planet that you were on the first time. Remember, this was very early in JRPGs. My only other experience was what, Zelda.
Yeah.
So exploring a world that felt as big as at Zelda, but then realizing that I could take a trip, that I could take a spaceship and travel to another planet that was just as big, and this planet was like a desert, and it was kind of like juxtaposing the fact that outside was raining and all almost world ending, and over here I was on a completely desert planet, and to me I was immersed. I was there. I was absolutely there.
Nice.
And I remember that, and I remember that at some point, yeah, the light must have gone out because then I couldn't play anymore, yada yada. But that's fine because then the game saves. But I remember that we didn't have electricity for weeks, at least a couple weeks, and I was miserable. And I remember that we were doing cleaning outside. We were still like putting together like the trees, cutting down trees and moving debris and all that shit. And then the light came on, and forget it. I just dropped what I was doing, and I went back to Phantasy Star.
All right, we're done. I'm going.
All right, we are done with the reconstruction. That's how bad it was.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
My last one, sir, is a little tale of how I almost bought an Xbox 360.
Oh, well, now you're gonna end it in tragedy.
It all had to do. A friend of mine, Josh. Shout out to Josh McCann. He had got an Xbox 360. I at this point was Wii only because I was not. It was $599 US for the PlayStation 3, and I was thinking about it. And at some point, I was like, no, it's just not fucking worth that much, Anyway,
you were practical.
I was being practical.
Now you don't give a shit. PlayStation 6 comes out. It's $1,000. Okay, well,
done. Here you go. Yeah, it's pre-ordered and everything. Yeah, yeah. So, but he brought over his Xbox, and this is how cool he was. He had to actually do a bunch of errands, so he brought it over. He wanted to show me a couple games. He showed me. He brought over Assassin's Creed, the first one, the very first Assassin's
Creed. The first one, yeah.
And BioShock. And
I feel like there was two showcases. He wanted to convert you. Yeah. He wasn't trying to be your friend. He wanted to fucking convert you.
I feel like there was a third game, but let's just say that game didn't matter. That game didn't fucking matter at all.
Probably.
So I started with, obviously, if you recall the cover of of BioShock, I started with BioShock just based on, I was like, this looks interesting, okay. Like 4 or 5 hours passed. He had to go run errands and go take his girlfriend, whatever. And I was like, all right, he'll be back in some while. And I figured I had a few hours so I can play, touch a little bit of everything. 5 hours passed, dude. I never stopped playing BioShock. It was just like, I never touched Assassin's Creed. And then he came back and he saw us like, hey, did you try Assassin's Creed? I was like, no, dude, this game is amazing. And yeah, I would never forget that, dude. I would never forget how. And at that point, I was just like, the first thing I did, obviously, is this on PlayStation? And no, apparently, I don't recall exactly if they were showing already plans at this point. But I know that eventually it did come later, and I remember finding out later that it was delayed because of them trying to program the game in the fucking cell processor.
Yes.
And then at that point it was like, oh, in that case, it's Xbox 360. Because this, to me, and killer app has been a thing from way back in the day.
Yeah.
Not so much in 360. This was the killer app, bro. Easily. I remember
I bought that game for a friend, and because she wanted to play that that game so bad on Xbox. She was a Halo player also, and she became a frigging convert of that. And that was not the type of game that she would play normally, but she loved it.
Still sits at one of my favorite games of all time. And even after playing Elden Ring, I still waver as to say, I don't know. If there was a battle of some sort, I don't know. Because I love BioShock so much, regardless of the unnecessary boss fight at the end. The boss fight is not hard anyway. In the end, it's just unnecessary to the story.
Right.
It would have been detrimental if the boss fight was actually hard. It's like, oh my God, what are we doing here? But it really wasn't. It was just absolutely unnecessary. But I mean, the shooter alone. Huh?
The shooting on that game wasn't spectacular.
No, it wasn't. But I mean, I don't think a lot of console shooting games were that really spectacular at that time anyway. But yeah, you're right. This one also suffered from, but it was beyond that. You know what I mean? It's just one of my favorite games of all time. Still, period. And it almost had me, if it wasn't, shortly thereafter, spoilers, shortly thereafter, people started to get Ren rings, and that made me go, okay, nope, never mind, not doing that, because I know me, and I will get really pissed off some shit like that. So
I will quit gaming.
I would, yeah, exactly. So
probably would have happened. Yeah, I suffered the red ring. We had two PlayStation. Listen to me, 2 Xboxes in the house, and both of them red ring within days apart. that shit was not. Yeah, that shit
Not
was
cool at
not
all.
fun
Yeah,
at
not
all.
cool
At
yeah.
all. Actually, I was gonna say my last one, but I actually had a couple. So you better come up with one more.
I don't have any more.
Well, all right. Well, then I guess I'll
Take us home.
mention. Huh?
Take us home. That's
All
what
right,
you're gonna
then.
do.
Okay, I guess I'll take. All right. Well, let me see. Hold on, because I just had it now, and I and setting it up now. Okay. Well, it doesn't matter. This is the one that I hold very. I really enjoyed this because it made me a total badass for the little while that it lasted, and that was really early in my gaming life. Super Mario Brothers 2 came out.
Oh, it's a good one.
And I was the only person of all my friends that was able to beat that game. So much so, I didn't own a Nintendo. I was a Sega Master System kid.
You were.
But my friend, especially the ending of that game, it's something special. The ending of Super Mario Brothers 2, it's beautiful.
Wonderful.
At least to me,
no, you're right. It is wonderful. It's one of my favorites. There's a soft spot in my heart for that game.
Yes.
Even though I know that it was sort of a skin swap with Doki Doki, but yeah, it doesn't matter. They went above and beyond what a skin swap can be.
I'm completely okay calling this my Super Mario Brothers 2. I'm happy with it because I love what they did, and besides, they kind of brought a lot of the characters from that game into the Super Mario lore anyway. So, so there you go. But the ending of that game was special, and my friends loved it, and I remember that they will get me out from me doing my homework because they will call me out to go to one of our friends' house, who was the one that owned the game, so that I can show them the ending of it. And I will play the entire game through. And for days, I'll be called upon to fulfill my mission, which was to beat the game so I can show them the ending again.
That's awesome.
And I felt like the kid from that movie, The Wizard.
The Wizard, not the Wiz. Yeah.
Yes. And nobody beats the Wiz. No, that's something else. No, the Wizard. And actually, I'm gonna close with this one because I have to put this one higher than all the other ones. This particular one is my favorite gaming moment of all time. I had the best company with this, and I had a blast, legitimately blast with this project, and that was Old School versus New School.
Oh, yes, that's
all
awesome.
of the Old School versus New School hold a special place in my heart. I still have footage of a lot of them, even though the videos are out. If you guys don't know, it's okay. You don't have to know. You can scour the internet.
Although you should know,
these videos. But we used before we did the podcast. We used to do a kind of like a competition, show between I think it always was the same thing. It was you versus your son. So you were representing the old school and your son representing the new school, and you guys will be playing a game. A particular title. I think it started with, was it Modern Warfare 2?
The first one was it was Ninja Gaiden. It was Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden was just how fast can you go through the first area and beat.
There you go. That's right. Because that was the point. The point was one episode will be an old game, and then the next episode was going to be a new game, exactly. and it kept going back and forth like that. Yes. but before them, they always had, or at least starting with the second one forward.
Yeah.
They had a little skit that we will make, and those were ridiculously fun to make.
They were. They really were.
It was just pure joy, because it was us, just being kids, basically.
Yeah, doesn't matter
just
your age.
fucking around with a camera and just making it, and then we made a theme out of it. Like the freaking Nick became the teabagger.
The teabagger, yes, because that's always the youth.
Yes,
a bunch of teabaggers. Yeah.
Oh my God, we had a time where it was a first person shooter, and we have first person scenes of it with grabbing the gun in first person.
Yes, I remember that.
We recorded it on your patio. We had one that was you and Nick playing basketball, which
yes,
is one of
because
our
we did double
favorites,
dribble.
Double dribble.
Yeah, we were playing double dribble before that. Yeah.
You guys were terrible at that, and we.
For sure.
I wasn't gonna be any better, so we had to edit every time you shoot the ball, and every time that we'll make the shot. It had to be like edited.
Yeah. Oh, that was excellent.
But it was hilarious, and we have one where I participated actually on camera, and I played a fighter. Basically.
I'm trying to remember the game. What were we playing?
Street Fighter. It was a Street Fighter game.
Okay.
Yeah. It was the whole thing. It was supposed to be a street. I was supposed to be like, I don't know, Ryu's cousin or
distant cousin.
Distant cousin, exactly. And then I was going against the worst boss of them all, the teabagger.
The teabagger
playing himself.
I was gonna say playing himself, because you were dressed and he was just
he was just normal dressed. Nick, yes. Yeah. And he destroys me. And then he's about to teabag me, and suddenly I got saved by a new opponent has arrived, and it's
Gunner. Yeah, Gunner.
Gunner shows up as a new character. Oh my God, those were very, very, very fun to do. And of course,
they were
our magna opus, or whatever the hell you say that.
Yeah, no, you said
magna opus was the Lost Souls, based on the Last of Us.
Lost Souls. Thank you. I couldn't remember. I was just like, what do we titled it something? The Last of Us Tale, but it was the Lost Souls.
Last of Us Tale. Yeah. We wanted to use the same font and make it look like very similar, but obviously not use the same name. So it was supposed to be a Last of Us. That was the most elaborated so far, and
absolutely. We had fake blood. We had props. We had
fake guns that I edited poorly, like real shots. Like I was doing all this on my iPad, so I should tell you how and the love the beauty of it is,
I remember
iMovie, yeah everything was very amateur, obviously, because none of this was not even quality YouTube for that era. This was just like us just fucking fooling around.
Yeah, but it was so much fun. It was a lot of fun.
So much fun, and we had I felt so young. Basically, it was like it was great. That was around the beginning that we started, putting together the group.
Yeah,
and,
well, shortly before, or just around, I guess.
Just around, because I think we posted the last one was around the time that you started the group.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, I gotta say that absolutely 100% Old School versus New School is my favorite gaming moment of all time.
I gotta agree, and I gotta shout out Javier here and apologize once again. Because
Javier was a big fan of them.
Yeah, he's been asking for volume 7 for forever. and I know that the last time I was like, yeah, it's coming, bro, it's coming. And I remember we had the idea, we had the skit and everything. I think Shadow was going to join us in that one too. And
that's right.
yeah, it was supposed to be about microtransaction. We were going to pretend to be in an office and pretend to be like executives, you know what I
Executive.
mean? And someone's
Yes.
supposed to be the programmer, supposed to be the the money man, and oh dude, that's still
Yeah.
in the air. I still have that, for the record. I still have that saved somewhere. So you never know, guys. You never know.
The unreleased one. Maybe when maybe when it comes out on DVD,
Yeah, exactly. Or video on
with the
demand. Yeah,
with
exactly.
the never before seen.
That
I
would
have
be
a
great.
lot of footage of those old school versus new school. I should just sporadically just like post,
I
post
mean,
them
we
on
could.
the
Yeah, I was gonna
screen.
say they're still saved to the thing. We can always just embed them so they can play easily.
Oh man,
That would be great. Yeah, that's good
it was the
stuff, man.
best
That's a
time.
good call. That is definitely a good call and an excellent way of closing on that. Guys, I hope you could take a chance and you share your favorite gaming moment. The good ones, the small ones, whatever it can be. Would love to hear more from you guys. But anyway, this is obviously at the end of our episode here. Another awesome episode, the real episode 315. As always, guys, if you haven't already, please go to goodgame.rocks. Join the conversation there. And please like, subscribe, share the podcast with everyone. This is Mad Dog signing off this week. Mr. David Santos. Take us home again.
I just want to close by saying that games have been an incredible deep part of my life. I've always embraced them. I've never been the best at anything, at any game in particular. Like that's not my style. Like I don't play competitively, or I don't try to be the highest score or anything like that. It just occupies my mind. It makes me have that alternate reality that I love playing. And not to mention, games have also been a way to heal from bad moments and
the
traumas,
strife
even
of the world, yeah.
and yeah. And just as an extra bonus, Last of Us was a game that I didn't particularly like, super like, it didn't fall in love. I thought it was great. I think that's one of the best games of all time, but it's not that I don't appreciate it because of that necessarily. I appreciate it more for how much it helped me around a time that I really needed it. And it just goes to show that they could be used as healing tools also. So
Yep.
you can't imagine gaming moments, happy, sad. It's great that we have this tool, basically, and that we can escape into our own fantasies and play together. And I didn't mention it, but I also appreciated a lot of the time that I played with you guys Elden Ring last time. That was phenomenal. Also, I didn't want to
mention it
out.
so much in the beginning of the year.
Yes,
but yes,
it was phenomenal. Playing with you guys.
Absolutely,
that was a special moment.
That counts for sure. That definitely goes on the list of one of the best times.
Sure, yeah. I think that's
ever.
I think that's all of us could say the same thing.
And that's another technically single player game. What I mean, even though you can pull somebody in, weirdly, because From Software wants to do things odd. But anyway. Yeah, that's a good one as well.
I met fantastic friends. I met Chaos, who I didn't know how the fuck did I get to meet him, and it turned out we had a mutual friend in Puerto Rico that I would have never put together. and through him I met Dark. Two of the people that I fucking love the most. It's dude. Whoever says video games they lead to nothing, it's like they don't know how to live.
They don't know. Yeah, they're outside of it. That's the whole deal.
Yes.
And you know what? that just means that we have the advantage, and they don't know it.
Exactly.
All right, guys. With that, we'll see you next week.
GG!